So today we will be meeting your dragon guides and connecting with dragon energy. And it's possible that you may have more than one. I know a lot of people will have more than one dragon guide. And let's back up a little bit and I'll explain what I mean by having a dragon guide. Maybe you've heard of spirit guides or guardian angels. This is sort of in that same vein, where we see dragons everywhere. I mean, it's baked into cultural fantasies that are playing out. It's in movies, in film, modern media. We're seeing this big push in what a lot of those who are more spiritual, sensitive, inclined have been picking up on is that there's a reason for this. There have been a lot of dragons coming in the spiritual world, coming into this planet and helping and serving us. Now, for those of you who are more secular, you just stumbled onto this video just out of curiosity, you might be like, you're seeing dragons? I think the psychosis won over. But what I'm talking about is the reason why this is such a big topic, is this is something that people would report in their dreams, in their visions, when they would go into deep states of meditation. A lot of reports of like, hey, I'm seeing this dragon energy. And they had a lot of similar qualities, characteristics, a lot that we've even seen into mythologies. So it, at least from a speculative point, you're trying to understand a pattern that's unfolding. And these patterns seemed to mirror a lot of other cross-culturally reports of this. So if that helps you to accept the idea of having a dragon guide, otherwise you could just look at this as a metaphor that what does the dragon represent in your life and how you overcome challenges and what are those obstacles. So if you're a little uneasy about accepting as a actual energetic being, I figured that might be a useful way of looking at it. So yeah, you may have been drawn to dragons throughout your life. If you were drawn to certain film or games, you collect memorabilia, posters, you just are naturally always drawn into dragons, chances are your dragon guide was coming through and like nudging you, or like you were feeling their energy, and so that kind of like took you into their world. And it's actually a little trick, like a nice little way for the dragons that work with you behind the scenes to help you get acquainted with their frequency, their energy. Because like I said, these are energetic beings that you'll see in altered states of consciousness. So they exist in a different frequency band. So you might see flashes. If you go I would recommend looking up dragon meditations to get acquainted and see if you can visually see your dragon guide come through. Sometimes you'll see little flashes of imagery, or colors, sensations. So play around with it, and that way it's a fun way to you getting attuned to their energy and your intuitive side as well. Dragons tend to appear during significant life changes or spiritual awakenings. So when you need moments of courage, integrity, wisdom to face the challenges that are confronting you, and at the same token, rediscovering your personal power. And it's like they come in and they guide you through big transformations, through really complex energy. And they kind of prepare you and an energetic shift that you're about to enter into. So when we kind of go through our own rebirths, they come in and assist us with that growth. Much in the same way as angels do. I think that was the funniest thing. When I started looking into dragon energy and working with the dragons, I think I was the most blown away. I'm like, what? They're on the same tier as angels? And there's a whole, slew of speculation around that. But yeah, I think it was interesting to see when my dragon guide came up for me was during these times. So they are unique and personal to each individual. Dragons will attune to your energy and assist you in your next phase of growth and even reawakening your gifts. That's been a big theme even within 2024 is remembrance. So, whether you believe in past lives or not, or maybe you're just listening, hearing it out, this year particularly was a year for people to kind of reclaim or recall their gifts from other lifetimes and bring that through, weave that through this current day and age. Um, because moving forward and going into the future, these useful gifts and skills that you've developed in other previous lifetimes is going to assist humanity in more ways that you'll even understand, more ways than our ego could even understand. So I plan on this to be a timeless reading. So even if, as we're closing out the Year of the Dragon, I also want this to be open to any time you come in and stumble on this. This may be a moment where you're closing out a cycle and beginning a new cycle. So we can look at it that way. Hi, Pile One. Welcome to your reading. I'm laughing because I can hear my cat getting into mischief in the other room. So my boyfriend's yelling at her. I don't know what she's doing. But, anyways, I felt like this is a nice segue into your reading because first of all, this card, when I was shuffling, I barely even shuffled. I was just grabbing the deck and this immediately shot out. And this is the rainbow dragon that you selected. And it literally says the first line brings the leap of joy that opens new doors. I'm going to laugh if my cat starts to get upset that my door is closed. Anyways, so with this dragon, it's interesting because I was also playing earlier with trying to get pictures for Instagram of my little spread here. And I was using this Angel Aura quartz, and I kept trying to use the refraction from this quartz crystal. And that way it created a prism of colors. And I was so captivated by that. It makes sense because the rainbow dragon is here, already making itself known. So, I like to channel things first before I really get into your cards and some things that came through. So the most obvious one is the LGBTQ community. You may be a part of that or just an ally for that. And then the other thing is you may be drawn to rainbows, a lot of colors, very creative. You might be somebody who use a lot of paints. You may be into crocheting or knitting, anything like that, or clay. Those were the first immediate sort of creative sides that was coming in. And then some other things that came through. First, your dragon wanted you to recognize that it sends signs through you picking up on rainbows or those light refractions, the dazzling little lights, and the glimmers too, in which glimmers that bring you joy as well. And I think that's a quality and characteristic of your dragon is that they will send you little gifts, little nudges to just bring a smile on your face. And maybe there is a message in there to start to pay more attention to it or open yourself up, your energetic self, a little bit to invite more of that in and recognize it. Let's see, what else did I pick up on? I heard the word dancer and movement, endurance. So I don't know if you have a lot of energy that you just kind of have to move with. Also heard the word unwind and release. I also saw the image. I was really drawn to this cloud, and I was thinking of, I don't know if you've seen those antidepressant commercials like Zoloft. It's like this little blob that was all sad looking. Had very Eeyore, like from Winnie the Pooh energy, where he's just like underneath a cloud and it's raining. I don't know, it's an old commercial, I guess, but I don't know if that's something, maybe there is something about medication that you take, about antidepressants or anxiety or any of those sort of things. I feel like this dragon helps with your energy system in that way of lifting you out of the clouds and seeing and it kind of reconfiguring your perspective to take in more light, get you out of that darkness. I kept feeling like either it was from this year that you were dealing with something that was heavy and dealing with things that kind of kept you in a very low vibrational state, like lots of fear, or just very low states of energy. Maybe you didn't have much energy and that was what you were kind of yearning for. Um, it was hard to see the rainbow. It was hard to see the sun out of these moments. And it kind of colored your experience of this past year or this past cycle that you were in. I was also drawn to the solar plexus and because of this sun right here, and then also your sacral chakra, which is all connected to your personal willpower and your creativity. So I see that this dragon is assisting you in those spaces because it knows that an area that you do thrive in and it wants to bring more of that into your world. I also heard four-leaf clover, like pot at the end of the rainbow, gold at the end of the rainbow. There's a big miracle or big opportunity coming your way. Even it says on the bottom here, have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles, accept opportunities. So there is a kind of a reason to get your head out of the lower clouds, the to see on a more brighter side a state of joy and gratitude, if kind of working with yourself in that way. In that way, this opportunities can come through to you. It's kind of like if you think about this is the current, the energy current, it wants you to kind of lift yourself up into that space. And that way, things will flow into your abundance will flow more easily into you. And that way you can utilize those gifts that you've been, you've mastered over these lifetimes. So I want to see this. I assigned with every pile, and it's so dragons are known for sacred geometry, and they're very big into any kind of sacred order in nature. And this card that you got was the heart chakra. It says the frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. So maybe this year was a bit challenging and maybe there was a big opening in your heart chakra. You have a very beautiful heart, but I can also feel like maybe there is a very sensitive side of you that it can be like a double-edged sword where it's like you have such a beautiful heart to give, but then when you're not matched with that energy or reciprocated, oh my God, my cat is clawing at the door. What did I tell you? Opens new doors. Here, 1 second. Come here. Oh my God, make your choice. Come in or out. Maybe that's a message for you. Make a choice. Be decisive. Because there's something waiting for you on the other side of that door. And anyways, back to what I was saying about the heart. It's such a beautiful gift to give that to others, but sometimes others either take it for granted or or you undergo an experience that's so painful that it contracts your energy back and you pull back and you hide. Stop. My cat's doing it again. So sorry. I don't mean all the interruptions. But anyways, I think this year had a big deal with opening your heart chakra, and this dragon was helping and assisting you into finding ways where you were the one who can shift your energy and connect more and expand this space so that way you can connect. The other thing was the crown chakra was coming through big with this card, and these other rays of energies, as you can see with the colors, were coming in through your crown chakra. And I feel like there's waking up of old sacred information, sacred knowledge that's coming in through you, that they're sending you, that your guides are sending through to you. So I'm gonna see what else we can find out about your dragon guide, any qualities or characteristics, their colors. So let's see. Oh, and then the other thing that I was thinking of was Beanie Babies. I don't know if you ever had those as a kid. I don't know why that like came through. Like maybe you had a dragon Beanie Baby or just some Beanie Babies that you connected with. Okay, so here we have, ooh, this is beautiful. Liama and Pushel. Be flexible in every situation in your life. Learn to concede in order to promote the light of peace. And then you have Aurora. Your true power is the light of your own magic. Remember that you are a powerful, magical creature. I look at all these colors too. It's like you have the red, pinks, and orange and yellows. And then you have the blues, the indigos, purples over there. That's your spectrum of colors. Oh, spectrum. Are you on the spectrum? I was just watching this really interesting podcast, or listening to an interesting podcast about, it's called the telepathy tapes. Really fascinating. They're trying to do research on this about those who are on the spectrum, or these were actually the nonverbal autism kids, and their parents were like, they are telepathically communicating to not just me, but their peers, or siblings, or their teachers, and they couldn't explain it. And it was really fascinating. I highly recommend it. But that just made me think of on the spectrum. Maybe there are parts of you that you're felt misunderstood by, and I don't know if you resonate with the idea of being neurodivergent. And I think we're starting to learn, especially in our more spiritual community, is seeing the value. These are different frequencies that these individuals are bringing into the planet. So they think differently, paradigm shifts, like the way they turn problems on its head. So if that's something you might resonate with, I think that's really special. That's really a beautiful, you are the little cosmic gift to this planet. And let me get out the rest of the cards, and then I'll kind of go further into this. I felt like these were kind of galactic beings that were coming in, so I'm going to pull from these. Oh, Lemuria and Atlantis. Yeah, there's your deep ancient knowledge and wisdom coming through. This is probably another lifetime that you had. In the back of the decks, I saw Vortex. That's pretty cool. Oh, okay. Ooh, 8th chakra, mysticism and otherworldliness. I was just saying that. How you were kind of these other unique frequencies that were coming through to you, and I think you have this ability to tap into those more mystical spaces. Look at past, present, future. Right now is a huge time for timeline shifts and quantum leaps that are happening. And okay. Stop. Oh, on the back it says love. Okay, I'm gonna take that. That was actually really cute because of your heart chakra card. Stop in the name of love before you break my heart. Think it all over. Okay. Ooh. Priest. So facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Shadow attributes violates the trust, spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. And then last deck. Sagittarius. Ooh, look at that fire. Okay. Okay, I wanted to get out the book for the Dragon Riders Oracle because these ones, it's like I like to elaborate a little more about their background and then we'll go into the overall reading of under it. But I just flipped to the page for Aurora and I'm laughing because it says that she's a master of magic, incarnated countless times on the first planets such as Lemuria. Her name means living light of the soul. The light, right there, yeah. As a high priestess of Lemuria, she's taught us about unity, the balance between opposites. Feel the magic and the insights of her teachings. She's saying your true being, your soul is untainted. It is pure, light-filled magic that makes all things possible. So you're being required to, this dragon is helping you to, again, with the light references and the beauty of that and the magic within that, it's because you are encoded with that same light magic that you bring into spaces for other people. But I feel like your limitations are kind of creating a hindrance or a blockage in some sense. And so this dragon is kind of working with you to bring through that magic back from the time frame. So yes, you're definitely a reincarnated soul and probably from this time period of Lemuria and Atlantis. Also, are you drawn at all by any chance to whales or dolphins? That could be a thing. Hawaii. Anyways, so you may have dreams. Pay attention to your dreams and visions, seeing if that you see other lifetimes. You might be connected to the water as well, or this dragon too. So the advice from this dragon is do not pay too much attention to the big events going on in the world, but instead think about your family and the people you deal with on a daily basis. So the way that you're bringing in magic is more on the practical, the day-to-day stuff. Like that they're encouraging you to not overestimate or underestimate. Stay inside, my goodness, this cat. And to not underestimate your ability to bring this beauty, this gift into whether it's a coffee shop, a workplace, your family home. Yeah, it's doing something that is needed in those, your vibration is needed in those spaces. So don't worry too if you're like, I need some big lofty goal and I have to achieve all these things. You can do that. You're more than welcome to. But it seems like the message is saying is that this dragon is more about having you be an upliftment for others and yourself on a day-to-day basis. And then over here with this dragon, also a healer. This one is, so she works with the elves, this dragon. So this feels very feminine. And I know it's because I do see feminine energies, but it's like that is the energy of these dragons. Sorry, you can hear my cat. This whole reading's just getting thrown, derailed because of the cat. So this is the realm of elves. You could have had a lifetime as well with, on this planet, living with the elven people. Oh my gosh, read this line right here. It says, stop frowning, banish those worry lines from your forehead. Instead, learn to recognize that you are the one who creates your own cares and concerns. It is the way you think and what you say that creates all your problems. Oh, this one's pretty harsh. close your eyes and imagine the two of us standing together in the warm light of the sun. They want you to dance. This is an exercise for coming for a few days. Oh, how funny. I got dancer earlier through your channeled messages. I will teach you serenity and suppleness, touching every level of your being so that you can be flexible and agile in all future situations. To be more adaptable was the path to victory. Do not allow life to push you into a corner and cramp your style or hamper your movements. Live freely and independently. Do not put off what needs to be done. If you would like inner clarity in terms of your life path, make procrastination a thing of the past. It is the things that you put off, that you delay doing, that prevent you from making progress. So I ask that if you are ready to make your life more beautiful and joyful. All right, wow. So the dragons that are showing up for you right now in these dragon guides, they are the ones that are kind of like the discipline is the first thing that I'm getting. So we've got the first dragon that was very much about upliftment and joy and seeing the glimmers. The other one is about discipline and trying to get your head out of the clouds here. That way you can see, set your sights higher and work with your heart chakra energy. Yeah, I just see, I'm really focused and drawn into this heart. It's like this dragon sends so much radiating energy to you to help you kind of feel that bliss. So if you have moments where you kind of feel these moments of bliss or peace washing over you, that's this dragon coming through. Or if you have thoughts and you start to recognize, like, I need to really stop thinking that way, or I get pulled in that direction, and then something feels like it throws your energy off to say, like, hey, pay attention, or hey, stop that. I feel like that's them again. They are master teachers, and they do not mess around. They value integrity. Dragons value self-awareness and taking responsibility for our energy. So that's what I feel like with them, is that they're trying to help you with your self-mastery, because in a sense, it seems like you can channel spiritual energy, and you might have that ability to look at different timelines and connect easily with other worlds. So yeah, look at that. This is focus. It's like boot camp. They're like, all right, so this year, particularly with 2024, could have been a boot camp for you in some capacity if you were thrown different challenges that were tapping into these themes playing out. Yeah, okay, cool. So in terms of what lessons you've learned over this past year, past cycle, and the growth that came out of that, these are the cards that came out for you. So we have the Seven of Cups, Six of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, the Star, and the Four of Wands. First immediately was like, holy, seven of everything. Lots of sevens on the deck here. So you may be seeing 777, or you have a connection to the number 7, life path number 7. But I thought that was interesting at first. And then I had to clarify this 7 of Swords, because that can either go, that's a tricky energy that can go either way with its expression. So I pulled out the 8 of Cups that came out in support for the 7 of Swords. So I also had some chakra cards and then some other oracle cards to kind of give it more flavor, more context and dimension to what I'm seeing here. So what I'm first noticing is all of these options available are more like they're daydreaming. So maybe this year, or maybe in the past, really, you're quite the dreamer, and you have very strong ideas and really great ideas. It feels like there's so many, you have a very, again, coming back to that creative mind, it's like a lot of wishful thinking with this too, kind of like I'm dreaming up all of these different ideas I could go or different routes I could take. And the feeling with this is like finally making decision to get out of indecision, because I remember the beginning of this reading, it was focused on indecisiveness. And so there was this moment of challenging your belief or challenging your passiveness, or when the energy of passiveness was starting to creep in, and having to call yourself out on it and saying like, no, I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to go in that direction, because we see some movement happening here with the Six of Swords, but it's right next to the Seven of Pentacles, which tells me there's been a lot of patience with this, that this wasn't an immediate outcome, an immediate reward. It was like, you knew it was going to take time. And so maybe that was what was creating a standstill or creating more slower movement, because it's easier to dream and get that dopamine rush when you're like, oh, here's my vision and here's where it's all going to lead me to. But then when we have to put in the work towards it, the time, the energy, the practical steps, it's like it can get overwhelming and daunting. So I see like this past year, this past cycle, you really moving out of the idea phase and grounding those ideas into reality, and doing more future thinking, more long-term planning. I see perseverance kind of with this as well, because of what it required out of you to finally make these moves and get out of this stalemate. So it's like you don't see the ships coming in yet, but having to have that trust and that faith with the Star card over there too, and having to stay optimistic. So I think that's where your dragons were coming in to help you keep the vision alive, keep that connection to your spirit, to that sense of meaning and fulfillment. So that way that could be the engine behind this movement that you were headed towards. So with these transitions, this is where we see the belief systems come in, seeds of polarities, courageousness. I see that you had to really challenge some hidden beliefs, some set of patterns, and having to examine that to see how it was keeping you stuck or keeping you from making any great strides to hit the ground running. And having to question yourself, like, what am I willing to invest in? So with this Seven of Pentacles and Seven of Swords, this was tricky because I see that there's frustration with how slow everything's been moving and not taking a lot of action. And with the Seven of Swords, sometimes it can talk about betrayal and it could talk about deception. So that may very well been an experience that you've been having or having to deal with. On the other hand, though, if it's not that, it could have been something was taken from you that kind of pushed you into this next transitory state. That was like, I need to leave. This isn't an unfulfilling situation anymore for me. So I must go. Because it's like, even though they're moving forward with the Eight of Cups, it's under that moonlight. It's like in the dark of night where it feels like it's not, it's like a reluctant, like I give in. I don't want to say that. What's the right word for this? It's like knowing it's a hard decision, because it's like maybe the place you were in or even the habits that you had were built up over time, and so there was a comfort level with that. But now having to decide to move on is really tricky, really difficult, because you don't want to leave those things behind, but you know it's not serving you anymore. It's not bringing joy and meaning like it had once did for you. So this is where the Eight of Cups can be a kind of a hard energy at times. So with the Seven of Swords, it could feel like you were being more strategic with your next moves. It could be a tough, maybe there's a tough living situation you were in, or job situation, love situation, or a business entrepreneur thing where there were these ideals you were holding on to, but that weren't panning out. And so you had to move on from it and really look at how you were holding yourself back And this is, again, that dragon energy comes in to teach us the way of stepping into our power, but also confronting our limiting beliefs and the things that we are willing to take accountability for. And what are we willing to leave behind in order to embrace new opportunities? So, with that leaving this difficult decision, it's like you I see with the star card, it's like you kept the hope, the faith alive and ready to leave behind that past and seek out this other future. But there was a lot of mental and emotional cleansing that had to be done first in order to purge yourself of these old energies and bring more clarity and healing to your energy system, your thoughts, your beliefs. Yeah, this is where you were clearing out old, outdated views, old, stagnant energy, and maybe you were getting stuck in these old paradigms where you were over intellectualizing it, trying to play it down and say, not questioning it, but realizing that was the illusion. I think those are big, profound moments when we realize we're rationalizing things away that are actually really matter to us. And it requires us to step into a different energy in order to confront it. In confronting those illusions, Seven of Cups can talk about illusions as well. So yeah, I feel like you had to reconstruct the way you were navigating in the world and build yourself a new roadmap, which is not easy. That's like a big, this is what's going to bring us over here. It's like this is what was beautiful about your shifts and your change, in that what your guides had been wanting to help you with was see how communication showed up twice here. You advocating for yourself and your needs. It feels like maybe it was easy to not speak up for your needs and to keep the peace, or maybe you just didn't really maybe it's like you created it more in your mind than you thought you would have support for. So once you started to vocalize this, like, I need help, I need support in this, and I know this is going to cause and stir the pot, but this is what I feel I need at this time. And because you brought in that courageous act, it brings in more freedom, more inner liberation for yourself to fulfill your goals. And yeah, that was something they wanted to congratulate you on, was you being more of an advocate for yourself. And whether that was through a challenging situation or just more fun, more inviting, more joy in your life, you're like, you know what? I want to do this. We're going to go here. It could be as simple as deciding, maybe you let others pick for you or do a lot of things. You gave up your power in that way, but instead now you were recognizing, like, why do I always do that? I'm going to be the one. I'll pick this place to go to, or I'm going to send out invitations or invites to go to this place. So I see more involvement in your own life of where you want to steer the ship. Yeah, and just stripping away those limiting beliefs. Because over here at the very tail end of this reading, we see the Star card and the Four of Wands, which is a great, prosperous time. Like, it seems like it's guiding you as we're closing out this year and going to go out into the new year, or this new cycle. There's going to be a lot of celebration, harmony, joy, rapid growth and expansion. And that's probably why you got the rainbow dragon, who's going to be bringing in these new opportunities because you are in the right frequency now to claim those gifts. Because before it was like, it couldn't reach you. It was like being blockaded by those limiting belief patterns and not being able to receive. But yeah, it's almost like you've shifted into this other energy, this other timeline, and it's opening new doors for you. Lastly, I want to read this Crystal Skull card, which is funny. I brought that. Let me see. I had this sitting off to the side. I just brought it out because I was like, why not? And it ended up coming up in your reading. So there was a reason for the little Crystal Skull card. So this says, Crystal skulls are said to have been healing tools and wisdom keepers in the ancient civilization of Atlantis and Lemuria. Okay, so again, yeah, you definitely have a connection to those those pasts, and you're weaving it through. Oh, and the star card, yeah, definitely a star seed. Look at all of those dragons, the connection to these dragon guides that you have. So yeah, I really encourage you to do like a meditation to connect with your dragon guides if you haven't done one before. So the quartz crystal is known for its capacity to amplify energy, store information. It brings in healing and clarity to uncover memories, revealing truth. Um, let's see, they're high vibrational frequencies. So if you work with crystals, that might help you tap into your ancient wisdom, and definitely start journaling, writing this down. And when you start to get these big, profound insights, don't I would encourage you rather than like brushing them off, because it could be something that will play in your future later, or might be really helpful to humanity. Um, let's see, it says your message is all aspects of your life are becoming clearer at this time. Expect to become aware of what you need to step away from to have a more focused path. You may have felt indecisive, but now you are downloading direct guidance from the heart of Source so that you can live and express yourself in a more authentic way. Know that downloads often appear as your own inner guidance, encouraging you to move forward. This is key to recognize the calmness they bring. So, because you're being more clear in your energy, in your needs, telling the universe, like, this is what I need, communicating to others, this is what I need, that clarity will bring more clarity into your future. You're bringing a more stabilized energy. And this is how you're going to see your ships come in. So, and this is what they're prepping you for and they're celebrating you for. So that's beautiful. Congrats, pile one. Okay, let's see what that new cycle, that new year is bringing in. What sort of opportunities are awaiting you? Celebrate good times, come on. That's what I heard in my mind. Wowee kazowie. Look at all this. We've got divine timing, boon. Heaven is rushing in, showering you with blessings. Open your heart to receive. Inspired action, focus on inspiration, and the action steps will flow effortlessly. Back of the deck, I saw the South Node card, and this is talking about our karmic past, the comfort zones that we get stuck in. And I just thought that was amazing because you're leaving that behind. And as we see, oh, this card came out. I was like, oh, I said that in the beginning in the channeled messages when it said release. And I'm like, bam, there it is. Okay. Where do I start? This is beautiful. So I feel like in this first quarter of the year that's coming and approaching, also, if you're watching this not at the beginning of the year, it could be the first quarter moon or just like that first quarter of your life, or however this applies to you in the cycle that you're in. So you're going to see lots of blessings and opportunities coming in through that first quarter. The other part of that too is that maybe during the first quarter is when you're hitting the ground running and you're becoming more organized, more detailed in your energy, and more disciplined with that Virgo energy. Virgo is all about taking care of all of the details and laying down the foundation so that way we can create a more harmonious path. And yeah, that discipline, it's like, it's with this Venus energy too. I see you're more disciplined and like bringing in more joy, more love, more art, more beauty. It's like you're more committed to that. And because you are as well, you're factoring that into your plan here. It's inviting this beautiful energy of, I feel like the people that you meet, the situations and you find, the opportunities that you come across are going to resonate with that frequency because you are purposely making plans and time for yourself to do those things. And yeah, it's like there's a focus towards pleasure, but it's like fulfillment. It's not just like shallow pleasure. It's like things that bring you, things that sustain you. It's like it's nourishing to the soul, like that kind of level. You had a big heart chakra opening at the beginning of this reading, so I could see you bringing more love into more energy, more love, and it's like amplifying the heck out of these situations you're in, and it's like recreating a reverberation. And then I was noticing the Neptune energy over here, which is funny. This is like literally the dreamer over here that you are. Um, this highlights your capacity to dream, to be creative. This is your mysticism, your connection to other worlds. I see it finally getting a chance to be expressed in this physical reality, in whatever way that could be, whether it's channeled through your art, through the words that you speak, the stories that you write, um, music that you create, the businesses that you create, whatever that can be in your life, your life's mission there. It's like this is such a new kind of energy, that these fresh ideas that we need. It's coming from this Neptunian quality. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a lot of like strong Neptune placement in your birth chart. And then right next to it, I saw Jupiter, which is all about expansion. So there's like this expansion in your energy field. Because of the shifts that you are making in your energy, it's like your consciousness is operating at a higher octave. And when it's doing that, it's like these blessings, this abundance is so magnetized to you, is flowing, it's like pouring in. I just feel like you're having a Scrooge McDuck moment in his vault, like swimming through his gold treasures in abundance. Once again, it could be either financial wealth, it could be through your community, it could be just being in your home, whatever abundance means to you. Does that mean more time for you, more time to do the things you love? It feels like the energy is like you're getting taken care of, and it's because you are really staying true to these this more purified energy, and being this close connection to source, this close connection to the divine, this meaningful energy, this energy where you feel expansive, you feel connected to all that is the unified field. It's in this is where you're getting your power from. This is where you get your energy reserves. You're not looking outside of yourself to do that. And that's like the fast track to receive all of these blessings. Not that it has to. I also don't want to make it sound like, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and it's a transactional relationship here. But it's just the energy of being in a state of gratitude without expecting anything, and that is the most like that's peak manifestation energy right there. Yeah, so you focusing on the light more, healing your fragmented energy, because I saw, oops, this over here. We see being true to myself and others. I remove my mask and stop creating illusions. I have confidence in who I am, and I reveal the good in me. I don't hide to prove anything. I replace shame with the power of love and truth. We've got attention. I'm attentive to all that manifests within me. When negativity rises, I transform it into light, love, and hope. My love for others is unconditional. I forgive. My desire to improve is constant. I am firm, brave, and hardworking. And then lastly, we've got release. I stop fighting my fears and the hardships of life. I control my thoughts, live in the present moment, and accept each stage of life. I work on what I have power over and put into God's hands what I can't change. I trust that everything will work out for the best. So it's like you're freeing your mental state a bit more. It's not so clouded and weighed down anymore, like our little friend, the Zoloft friend at the beginning of the reading. And yeah, this lightness, this levity in your energy is it's like putting you on that same playing field as all of these opportunities. So it's because of your work, and you're creating your own luck here. I'm seeing there is some time to maybe this winter time right now that we're in this mother card, this divine cosmic mother womb. It's when you go into that deep state of rest, meditation, getting extra sleep, being easy on yourself, allowing yourself to integrate these new energies and releasing those older energies. That's a transition time that you're kind of in right now. Letting that marinate, it'll sort itself out. You don't really have to do too much other than just keep being aware, but being focused on, the things that do bring you a quality life, and just whatever each moment, bring that in. And then with the elders card, I see your guides really strongly making more contact with you, or I think you're perceiving them more. The more that you open and stretch yourself energetically. And again, it's always an option, it's a choice, but I do see this coming in where you're like going to feel their presence a bit more. It's going to be like, whoa, this is exciting. I'm like co creating and collaborating with these other energies and guides. And in turn, I think it's showing others how to step in their light and step in their power, and just by you shining your own light and your love, your unconditional love. That's like your superpower. People will feel that. They'll like, if you got a lot of eyes on you turning, and they will feel your energy. And it doesn't matter what you look like, what you're wearing, what your status is. It's like they'll feel your energy first and foremost. So yeah. Yeah, really exciting things for you coming up ahead. I can't wait for you for what the universe has in store. So that's awesome. And it's awesome that you're doing the work. Keep it up. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I know it's kind of long, it was kind of lengthy, but hopefully in the future I shorten these readings. But anyways, I hope you got to enjoy meeting your dragon guides, and once again, highly recommend just doing a meditation and seeing what they feel like, what they look like, and see if they reveal themselves to you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you at the next reading. Bye. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. I see that you chose this lovely white dragon, and today we are looking at who your dragon guides are. What are they like? What are their characteristics? And then, as far as this year or this cycle went for you, we'll find out a little more about processing those growths, those challenges, and how that's going to set you up for your future. So with this dragon, you selected the pure white dragon from Orion. It says, transforms your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. Process what you know. Act with truth and honesty. Let your wings of light grow and expand. And then the corresponding sacred geometry card that you received is the Merkaba. And this says the frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of the experience into our present to serve our highest purpose. Sorry, it is very tiny font. I couldn't read that. All right, so before we kind of dive into what this particular dragon guide is like, I like to do some channeling beforehand to see if I pick up anything before we go into the reading, any messages, any insights. And I immediately, the second I saw this dragon come out, I was like, oh, this is going to be a super galactic, cosmic being. This group in particular has probably had many, many, many lives. It's probably an ancient soul who's had many existences on other parts of the galaxy. And this is going to be my starseed group, my group that's maybe they've been attracted. The first thing I was thinking of was actually Star Wars. And I think because I see the word Orion, and there's in the more galactic community, starseed community, they often talk about the Orion Wars. that, this predates even human Earth existence. This is beyond our galaxy, our own occupant of space. This is on the other side of that galaxy of dealing with it's in the Orion constellation and near there. And anyways, there's a whole space lore behind it, but it mirrored very similar to the story in the universe of Star Wars. So I was thinking of characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi came through and Jedi Master. So this feels like this group in particular, um, you may have a connection to that Orion timeline. I could maybe feel an interest into either sci-fi films or science. You might feel very particularly drawn to any kind of like space drama. uh, and the feeling I was getting with that is this group might be the rebels, the warriors. So maybe in you might find yourself, your personality or something about you is like has that warrior mentality, and someone who acts in integrity, truth, and honor, like lives by a code, and a moral code is what I was kind of getting with this. Also, counselors, like I could see this wisdom and this integrity really playing out in the way that you move through the world, the way that you operate. I heard, so Orion's belt came through, and then it made me think of Men in Black because I think of the little cat that had the Orion's belt around its collar. And then, let's see, the rebels. I heard let go of control, which seems like it's a very warrior mentality too, of having the need to control. I heard do not force, overexert yourself with forcing your way. That may be a theme in your life if that resonates. If you find yourself having a very controlling personality, or even if it's not on others, maybe on yourself, you have a very controlling aspect that, or inner voice that may come in that is sometimes can be kind of sabotaging a little bit. I saw a column of light on the spinal cord. So something about you and channeling light through your spinal cord. I'm gonna grab this. I see patterns of light, like little, it's like little starlight, like creating these little shapes and patterns. I see children, like star children, giggling, like the imagery of children coming through. So I feel like these are the more, I don't know if you have a connection to children or very childlike be quality to your personality. And you may have star children yourself. Like these are kids incarnating at this time that have a connection to a more cosmic connection. So if they seem a little like out there, a little odd to you, I think this may be a big part of their frequency. So the other thing with the rebels, and I think this kind of just goes with the Star Wars theme here, but I kept getting the feeling of being displaced, like hiding. Like I feel like you're hiding out here and not wanting to be here. Refugees came in, so if there's a connection to refugees in this lifetime, or I don't know, that was something, a theme I kept coming back to. And then I heard a tunnel to other worlds, a highway into this quadrant of the galaxy. Like something about your soul kind of came into this quadrant of the galaxy through this tunnel. Like there's something about your energy. It felt like I felt like light and sound was one of your gifts. And I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe you might know what that means. Maybe you might discover more of what that means. I know this all sounds really out there, but I was like, I was trying to channel more like more normal things. But I was like, no, this is the group that's gonna be a little more out there, and it's okay. Just go with trust my gut on this one. So I also heard fiber optic cable, And the way that that was coming through to me was like you're acting like you process information, the way you process information, it was like you're a fiber optic cable. And that's basically is like transferring data signals into the form of light. So in this cosmic web, you're acting as this sort of transducer for information to come through, like very particular kind of information. And I would be surprised if you find yourself astral traveling a lot in your dreams, where you feel like you're taken to other worlds, or you're when you come back into your body, it's like like this buzzing sensation, this vibration that comes in. I also heard brotherhood, or I guess sisterhood, depending what you resonate with. So yeah, those were the few things that came in channeling wise. I thought was really fascinating. So let's find out with your dragon a little more details of what this dragon guide is like for you, what they look like, and some of their qualities. So this dragon guide is interesting. So like I was saying, it's a very cosmic, galactic kind of guide where this one has, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a very enlightened point of view and perspective that you bring to your community. And maybe people get very stuck on certain things that you have a heightened point of view. And you're like, well, yeah, maybe you play devil's advocate a lot, and I think your dragon works with you on that. This dragon is such a highly advanced, evolved being, advanced enlightenment. So I feel like this is a higher level of soul wisdom and soul growth that this dragon helps work with your energy for. So the way that I was thinking of this, so this, and especially with Orion energy, is a very like left brain dominated. They're very logical, very practical steps. They see, and they're very good at strategizing and figuring out solutions. But I also see this as working in correspondence with your right brain qualities and working with your heart energy, where you take the creativeness, the visionary, the more eccentric side, and you combine the two. The image I was being shown was like your brain, the corpus callosum, which is the band of nerves, the fibers that connect the two hemispheres of the brain. And it's what allows this band of tissue, that what allows the brain, the left and the right side, to talk to each other and communicate. So something in your energy, in this dragon's energy, felt like it was a mediator in helping you synthesize these ideas, because it's possible that you might be that kind of person that plays devil's advocate a lot with your friends or family, where let's say you're with a particular group that it leans a little more towards the hardcore science materialists and very very defiant about like, no, this is reality, this is our physical senses, that's it, nothing else. And maybe you're more of that visionary mind that comes in and says, well, would you explore these ideas and these concepts and speculate these ideas? So there's an expansion of thinking, of wisdom, of feeling that you offer these groups of people. And then on the other side of that, maybe you have a group of people that are very spiritually inclined, very creative, but a little spacey, a little lit, not as grounded. So maybe you bring in these logical sides of it. You bring the discernment that says, well, let's rethink about that. That's a great idea, but let's really like try to flesh this out a bit more. And or you love learning, you have a passion for learning. So if there is misinformation being spread, you will do that extra work to say, oh, where's the source coming from? This gets circulated online. Let me kind of see where this is coming from. And then you might bring that logic to your friends. And that's a gift to do both, to operate in both spaces. And I think that amplifies your power. This is what that dragon does with you. This is where you get your wisdom. This pure white dragon, you might have a white aura around you, very high white light. It's like your energy is so expansive that because you hold qualities like truth, honor, respect, I feel like a lot of people respect you. And because you have this advanced spiritual growth, this is a high frequency dragon. and highly evolved. I wouldn't be surprised if it works with the angelic beings, or the angelic beings really work or are drawn to your energy. So yeah, this dragon helps you interpret patterns and symbolic messages, gives you those downloads. And the main thing that I was feeling with this, now with the Merkaba is it's about balancing masculine and feminine energies, which is, once again, you're the corpus callosum, the brain side that balances the left brain, right brain kind of information. This is a vehicle of light, of like protection, of it's helping raising your soul's vibration. It can transport your consciousness to higher dimensions. And this is why you can interact with these tier of beings, because it takes a soul, a consciousness, a type of consciousness that can lift up. A lot of people can't make it. So this is why people can't perceive these things, because they're very low into these lower densities, very physicalists. It's like their senses aren't attuned to this, or they dismiss it. They're like, oh, well, that's just imagination. And so, anyways, coming back to all of this, I see that this dragon has been working with you over this past year to help you prepare you for a higher ascension and bringing in stronger soul wisdom, expansion of your soul wisdom. We're going to take a few more cards to see about your dragon. Oh, that one came out. Ooh, this one's black. Ormiak, the time has now come for divine insight. Accept the darkness within you along with the light. The masculine and feminine energies. This is the dark and the light. Okay, and follow the path towards wholeness. It's interesting. And then I'm going to get another dragon. So you definitely have another dragon too that helps you with processing the more shadowy parts. Let's see this one. Oh yeah, and I'm not gonna pronounce that one. Oh yeah has spoken. The exchange of give and take has been unbalanced. Out of kilter, I renew your spirit with wind. I renew your life with fire. So something about you bringing things into balance this past year, and these dragons assisting you, and so integrating those aspects of self, of your inner self, is improving and enhancing your outer reality. So curious to see what was going to play out in your year for you to reach these broad range of lessons that came in for you. So these dragons, first of all, if you're familiar with shadow work, maybe that was something you were working on this year, or perhaps or this cycle that you've just recently kind of closed out and are finishing up, and had to learn the ways you were holding yourself back, or maybe self judgments, and in turn, of course, how we judge others, because she's about judgment and about um, of acknowledging where you hold self-doubt, worthlessness, a fear of not being loved. And then with this dragon coming in, it's like having the courage to face those parts of self and loving those parts. And this is where we get the deeper wisdom coming out of this. So by the way, getting to this level of self-analysis and examination and honesty requires a mature soul. Not a lot of people are going to engage in this kind of work and walk the talk, because it's like we can learn all the terms and the phrases and intellectualize it, but to feel it, to come into that more inner, deeper state where we feel the feelings, this is the energy work that the dragons are assisting your energy field. I want to kind of see where these dragons come from, or any more information we can find about them. Ooh. etheric implants. This is interesting. So, have you ever heard about this? Hold on, let me get the book because I think it will. Oh my gosh, look at that. You have resilience too. Yeah, you are quite a strong soul. I feel like maybe you've accrued a lot of karma or a lot of soul experiences. I mean, being an ancient soul, it's also like you've had a lot of pain and hardships too, especially when we're talking about Orion and its past. There's a resilience, and we're talking about Jedis too, or rebels and refugees. There's no doubt about you that you're a very strong, solid soul, but at the same token, there's a lot of pain buried in there. And a lot of, maybe that's the hard part of being a sensitive soul too, is kind of like the weight that you have to carry with you with that sensitivity. I'm seeing with etheric implants, I'll read that real quick. It says, you have the ability to cleanse and heal yourself at any time. You're probably familiar with having the sensation of something breaking down your, breaking down, something breathing down your neck or feeling a pit in your stomach. In shamanic work, humanity's oldest form of healing, such energetic phenomena are known as energetic intruders, energy implants, or etheric implants. These negatively balanced energies may be of earthly or even cosmic origin, since everything is interconnected. These so-called negative implants can be negative thought patterns manipulating on a mental level. So whoever controls the mind controls the body and soul. So these could be like more of these. It's like when you think about your aura, and then when we're kind of having moments of intense fear, anxiety, self-doubt, shame, guilt, it starts to puncture holes in our aura. And the quality of our own, like, it's like our own atmosphere, our magnetosphere, for that protects our bodies. When you start to see these, so shamans would see this when they would kind of go into these altered states. And this is where they do, it's like energetic surgery or Reiki healers. This is basically what they do. They look in and see where are those blockages of energies. And so they, with this etheric implants, I feel like this was a lot of removal this past year, that this is what the dragons will do for you. It's like they'll channel their energy to help kind of clear that out and create more of a flow and that way more things move smoothly in your life. Examples of this, if you start to see a lot of misfortunes happening one in a row in your life, it's kind of like, it's like an indicator to maybe look at the things that are going in your life, what's drawing those energies in. Not everything, by the way. I don't want you to be on like heavy guard, like everything's your fault. Also, that energy can take a turn on you in the etheric implants. But it's about being self-aware and saying that I have the power to heal this. I'm going to draw awareness of it, make the unconscious conscious, and cleanse myself, cleanse my spirit. That way you can dissolve these energies. Woo! So we have growth. Ooh. Ooh, and pain. Yeah. Oh my gosh. They are helping you heal for sure. This is lifetime. So if you feel like in your life you really got it hard, there's a lot of healing work that was needing to get moved. It was like hauling out these big boxes of old garbage. That was like time for your soul to kind of, if there was energies, any fractures in your energies, any soul retrievals, like this is where this needed to be back, call them integrated. Like working with a black dragon, they are such high, they're a little more rare as what I believe, not, they're very shamanic. Like that's where they do like the deepest healing work. So this is what helps you grow again. This is what helps your expansion, this white light. Again, I'm saying this maturity that's in your soul. That's why maybe a lot of crap got dealt with to you. And then I just want to see how the dragons are like showing up in your energy system. we've got the stomach meridian, nourishment and right processing. If you've been having any issues, digestion issues, they are also helping you with that. Especially the fire dragon who's breathing fire away and clearing out impurities. And so I see that there's healing with that. And as long as you're also taking the steps to eat more nutrient rich food, I'm very drawn to green. So your eat your vegetables, but also paying attention to where your body needs its nourishment from. And that way your physical vessel can house more light because more light is coming in. So your nervous system's going to start to get a little more sensitive to that. So yeah, so they're helping ease any if there's any stomach issues, but also this is where the seat of where you draw your power from, and maybe if that's where you feel the pit of your stomach a lot of the time, where you process your pain. So I see that as well. Ooh, slave. Interesting. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Giving your will, shadow aspect, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. So maybe this was something that you were struggling and these dragons were trying to relieve you from, liberate you from, especially with this deep karmic past. It's like the act of surrendering creates the biggest energetic shifts. And so it feels like this is going to be a theme for you. And it's like your come to Jesus moment in a sense. But it's the fact that it's like you don't have to do too much work that you thought you did to create a more balanced life, a more flowing light. It's like let go and let these other guides come in to support you and just flow. So it's like teaching you the art of that. Okay, so this is a bit information about what these dragons do for you. Here's kind of what they look like, or what their energies feel like. Now we're gonna go and see this past year, this past cycle, what sort of growth happened in that cycle and how we're going to process that, how we integrate that information and see where it takes you next. Okay, first of all, I have to say, Pile 2, you are an extremely smart and intuitive, deep thinker. And there's no surprise because you have the Arcturians that showed up for you and working with your energy, which is interesting because you got the etheric implants in just right before this. And Arcturians are known for helping with extractions and removing those implants in our field. Again, these are all energetic beings. If you're very new to this, I understand how wildly out there this is. But if you're familiar, I guess I'm more speaking to the people that are already in this world. So with Arcturians, first of all, oh my god, did you notice the rebel card I had said earlier in my channel link? I was like, oh, I feel like there's rebels in this group. Anyways, back to the Arcturians. So ways you can kind of tell a little bit, just little tangible things. These are going to be small, but if you see images of blue beings in your mind's eye, or like lights flickering, or let's say high pitch ear ringing that just like kind of comes and goes really quick, like in a flash. That sometimes are like little signs that they're nearby, and they often do these are highly technical beings. They are so technologically advanced as a civilization, so they have all the cool tricks. So a lot of scientists, engineers tend to be have connections to Arcturian souls, by the way, just as a fun fact. And these beings, they're definitely, as far as what's going on with you and your body, your energy body, they're showing up at night for you. Because I'm seeing this child in the bed looking out of the stars. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, if let's say you had a lot of sleepless nights this past year, or you found yourself just kept waking up in the middle of the night, I feel because we see exploring dreams and contemplation. Yeah, I'm seeing this. They were working on your body, your energy body, and removing and extracting those etheric implants. So if you feel like, I think you do a lot of astral traveling too, like I said earlier, and they want to remind you that you are a child of the stars. So you see this child kind of like looking and gazing out. So again, if you're drawn to space quite a bit, there's a reason for that. Um, so yeah, you absolutely think differently from other people, and I think that's a gift. But I think it may come at a cost too, to have that rebellious mind, that different, like the childlike wonder, and these different kinds of ideas. If you're around a group of people that kind of tend to think the same and are unwilling to, or at least they dismiss these more bigger ideas that kind of go off of the fringes of science. So maybe you're interested in topics that go beyond what our scientific paradigm is right now. So I feel like you're kind of in that camp of people, and you're meant to explore those spaces. And we can bring those back into the realm of science, but anyways, you do have a strong connection with that. I was drawn to this magnetism card. I saw attraction, and there is another card over there that's talking about the force of attraction. I feel like you might have a very polarizing energy for people, and I think that naturally comes when someone says something rebellious or takes a strong stand and holds true to their self. A lot of times it means that you have to be confident in who you are and be willing to have a very different point of view and vantage point than what might the conventional standard mainstream view. Because that's where you play it safe. You're like, well, everyone thinks and agrees this way, but you're kind of like, well, what about these ideas? Let's explore this world. So I think that you naturally have a very polarizing energy that people that may not really quite understand you. And also, sometimes you sound whack. It's like the wacky scientist nobody can understand, but they're freaking smart. So I think it's like kind of that energy is what I'm getting with you. You may be getting a lot of downloads at night, and that's what's waking you up in the middle of the night. Your dream time is definitely popping off. And I feel like you're just a funnel of information that is getting downloaded into your system. Now, looking at the rest of your cards, overview of this year, I'm saying with these are the top cards. These are the major, like the major themes, and then these were just clarifying those energies to help me understand. Now, I think with this top row, this is definitely more focused on the larger themes that you are experiencing, the growth, the lessons. Then the bottom part is more about like giving me context of what triggered or kind of like what was the friction that caused you to get into these states, get into these like how you dealt with the obstacles that came in for you. And then how you learned how to alchemize it too. So this was really powerful because you have three major arcanas. We have the sun, the hanged man, and the shaman, which is the magician card. Interesting you got the shaman because that dragon at the beginning of the reading, the black one, it was very shamanic energy about exploring your inner depths. So you definitely have a strong shamanistic kind of energy that like looms around you. And this is probably what allows you to see the inner depths of other people. And that's why you have such a depth of quality of perception. Now with this sun, I remember this year has been so volatile and active with solar flares, and this we had a solar eclipse too. So I feel like maybe there were some things that got activated in you during that time period. I wouldn't be surprised. So I was thinking of solar consciousness that was lighting you up and kind of acting in alignment with your soul. So, a big push for you to stand in your authenticity. And then I was picking up on the sense of having to let go of certain relationships, like business, love, or platonic, whatever that may hold for you. I think everybody's in different boats with that. So you had to face certain endings and process those endings. There could have been actual deaths that you had to face, losing loved ones, or having just to grieve through some painful experiences. And just, I feel like there was this overwhelming sense of sorrow that had to get dealt with. So throughout this cycle, there were moments of isolation, fear, lots of fear, because I saw it's interesting with the reptilian card. It's also connection to Orion there. It talks about primal fear. So again, this stems back ages for your soul. So you weren't joking in this lifetime. This was stuff that you were like ready to move. This is like, I'm thinking of Chiron, the wounded healer. Like, this is stuff that you've carried over lifetime after lifetime. You were going to do it this year. um, so this year you had to realize how unhealed the wounds that you were carrying, that perhaps there was a bit with that stubbornness card. There may have been some kind of stubbornness in releasing this pain or seeing that it's still hung in your energy. I see that your dreams were a way for your dragon guides to communicate with you. And it feels like a long time coming, as these were scars that existed beyond lifetimes. So, yeah, it's like opening old and new wounds, and that forced you into this cocoon stage. That way you can kind of emerge out of this from a completely different vantage point and carrying a different kind of energy. So, yeah, major self transformation and setting things right, restoring balance. Yeah, so you had to kind of move through this landscape of fear, or whatever that means too. Again, everybody's in kind of a different situation, so I don't know what that, but that fear energy was it was a big motivating factor in all of this. So, in the process of confronting a lot of your fears, it was this deep internal work of adjusting expectations, managing disappointments. Um, and that could be disappointments between friends or family partners. There was this karmic pattern that needed to be released. And I'm noticing when you were operating from a place of need or lack, this is what had to get balanced and shifted in your energy and restore you back to wholeness. This is where you bring that light. Remember how much of a strong source of light that you are. Um, One thing that came through was that you are the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that was a big, powerful realization you had to come to, or in this process, you're learning to understand at a more deeper cellular level. Yeah, it required a lot of honesty too. To be this authentic with yourself, again, spiritual maturity. Like, you were ready to handle this kind of karmic energy. So, your dragon guides recognize that you're ready to move into the next evolutionary stage. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you took a lot of downtime this year, having to integrate the pain, do some journeying, shamanic journeying into the lower realms, and sort of pinpoint and see where these energies were hooked into you and were causing and splintering your energy or siphoning your energy. So that way you can unbound yourself from those shackles. So, because this was prohibiting your movement forward. And there's a lot of work ahead for you in your role in this life that will be, you'll come at it with a more clear and pure energy that is so needed. So yeah, your self-mastery, I mean, they're just praising you for the self-mastery it took for you to achieve this. Yeah, learning to see the opportunity and have the strength to feel those deeper emotions. I'm seeing with this Page of Pentacles, you have the Strength card and the Ace of Cups. And that's sort of the key of the shaman, the the magician, having the power to use your emotions in your manifestations, in creating your reality. And that way you're not attracting situations or imbalanced relationships that was coming from a place of chaos. So yeah, with this, lastly, we see this huge. So I was really drawn to this electrical energy. It's like, oh, with the Three of Swords and then the shaman, it's like this huge electrical and emotional discharge. It just now it created space for you for that way. There's more of a free flow in your energy field, and your relationships are going to be way as more empowered, and they come from a place where you're more centered because you were healing that more inner chaos. So yeah, that was really just incredible work that you were doing this year in realizing that and taking those steps to heal. I did want to bring up, because it was so recent and these cards were reminding me to talk about it, in regards to the etheric implant. This card, and how I was saying the Arcturians help assist with that, and this card. So this is interesting. Real briefly, the other night I had fallen asleep listening to some YouTube, it was like 8-hour meditation sounds of like Arcturian healing chambers. It was just really pretty, and I fell asleep to it. And then I had a dream where I saw this woman who, in her heart chakra, like she was in a group of friends and they were just talking amongst themselves. And I noticed this like entity, this black parasitic entity, like coming out that had its tentacles in her chest. And she had no idea it was there. It was just, I could see it. And I was asking my brother, who was there in the dream, like, hey, do you see this girl's, this attachment on her? And he didn't see it, but I was, somebody else I ended up talking to that was like more of a sensitive empath and intuitive could see it. And it literally looked like this. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what the shamans talk about when they go into these shamanic journeying in the lower realms, is like seeing these, it's either showing up like black goo, like tar, and what happens is these things kind of touch into the person's energy, because if they kind of feed off of fear, guilt, low self-worth. When you're dealing with those heavier mucky energies, it's like these little creatures start to appear. And it was the first time that I was seeing this actual, like, this etheric implant. The reason I know that, I just got this deck that same night, and when I asked about that dream, this card came out. And I was like, oh my god, I actually got to see what an etheric implant looks like. So I just thought that was interesting, and I felt guided to share that with you. I know it's going to make the video so much longer, but yeah, if you can maybe do some energy healing too, working with an energy healer will really help at least smooth out those energies for you. You're already doing the work, though. I have to say that you've made a huge progress. That just might help give it an extra little boost. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. That's what came in. There was a song in pile 1. Now there's a little jingle in pile 2. Just right before I start these parts of the reading. So we're finding out what your dragon guides would like to share with you for the upcoming cycle, upcoming year, the blessings coming in, the now that you've shifted out of these other energies and you've faced a lot of these challenges. So big thing that I noticed here is you have a knack, a skill with working with other people. The amount of times I saw the connections card, share your gifts, conscious living, that card over there says shared space. And then on the back of this deck, it said soul contracts. And then behind that was financial freedom, connected to your second house over here that talks about your money, your finances, your income. And one of the spiritual laws is that our relationships, oftentimes the health of that can be reflected in our finances. And so learning about the relationship with others can also influence the relationship you have with your money. And I feel like this is playing out a theme in your life, and this is probably why, because you're such a high level soul and you have high level guides, that means I feel like you're kind of the leader, that you are somebody who's stepping more in a leadership role. Now, whether that can show up in many ways. It doesn't have to be just like a business setting. It could be an entrepreneur. It doesn't even have to be that. It could just be in your community, however, or family unit, connection, however that shows up for you. That's something that your being is where your gifts are actualized in those spaces. I see with the teacher card and share your gifts, conscious living, purity, you have a very ethical soul. You carry that light in you because beginning of the reading we're talking about how you had a authenticity, integrity, respect. You're carrying that in your act of service. It's all within the first house. This inner work now is showing in your external reality with the first house over here talking about first impressions, the ego, identity, appearance, approach to life. So I'm seeing you taking more of an action oriented step in this next cycle. The Divine Masculine card came up. So this is a card about stepping into power, to action. You got that solar consciousness reference earlier. You rising into your true power. And you're bringing in that structure, the practicality. There's no ego involved because you were able to remove judgment. Now, I do want to point out that you did get this card about blessings in disguise. You're being asked not to prejudge a current set of circumstances or perhaps one that approaches you shortly. So let's say it looks like you're like, what the heck? I did all this work and I'm still having trouble, or I'm keep hitting this same wall with certain people or someone in my life. And I thought this would adjust. I'm trying to respond differently, react differently, but nothing's giving. This is the tricky part with working with other people because even though we can do all this inner work and we do see changes shift in our reality, everyone has free will. Not everyone's going to respond the way that we had hoped. And that was the message about releasing expectations. And I think you're really honing in on this. So, this is where you're going to thrive. There will be some kind of friction going on, but again, we see that with challenges right here. You got the square card and the astrology cards. So, there is a little bit of conflict, something kind of delayed. It's causing that friction. But your guides want to remind you, they're giving you this heads up to be like, notice the opportunity in this because you have the gifts, you have the quality of character with that purity card. This is going to pull out, this is going to draw out your integrity, your authenticity. You have the ability to be very grounded and to be magical. You know how to bring lightness and purity into the situation and resolve conflicts. This is where you see your power. This is how you learn about more of your power as well. And there's going to be, what I'm guessing is success out of this situation. And then you got the lucky star too. So something is, and then the easy road. So this is sort of like not exactly a test, but kind of a test. And it's really the way that you move through this. It's like, all right, is the student ready to become the teacher here? And this is going to push your buttons just a bit, but enough to get you to rise to the challenge. And it's opening up these doors and bringing in a lot of success, a lot of abundance. Again, I see big finances improving too, which is great news if that's something that you've been struggling with. But it's also connected to your purpose, your service to others, your ability to network with others, and you have, again, you from the beginning part of this reading, talking about balanced relationships, empowered relationships. You know how to navigate those spaces because you have the depth and the capacity to pick up on cues that a lot of other people may not have the sensitivity, the awareness to look at those things. So, in a way, because you're being more conscious about how you're behaving and moving through the world and in response to others, it's creating energetic shifts. And yeah, I see you co creating. There's bringing a lot of harmonious connections into your life too, and sharing your vision, you're co creating with others while honoring yourself and in addition to honoring others. And there isn't, it seems like you're evolving out of any preconceived judgments too, because that could have been something that would have held you back. Judgment on self and judgment on others. There's like a lightness, a lighter energy. You're cleared out a lot of your karma because of this, of the other stuff that you had to just move. So this is creating a more open-hearted energy for you. You've created more space in your life by healing those relationship wounds, those wounds within yourself that you've carried over lifetime after lifetime. So, wow, beautiful. Like, there's so many good blessings coming in for you. But yeah, they just wanted to, I think this was just a little fun, not fun. Fun for me, for you going through it is like, this sucks. But yeah, just a heads up. It was like, when this hits, just remind yourself, this is where you use your skills, navigate the situation. You're going to be surprised what's coming out of this, the fortune that comes out of this. And it either is connected to the situation or it might not even have anything to do with the situation. Sometimes things will pop into our reality just because we've like mastered a lesson, even though it had nothing to do with, you're like somebody, you get a phone call one day, a text one day, someone messages you and offers you this amazing opportunity. And literally the night before, you just made different choices for yourself, healthier choices, and without any expectation of what that would lead to. But because of that, it brought in these blessings for you. So something to keep in mind when you move forward. Anyways, your dragon guides seem very proud of you. And to keep moving ahead with your advancement, your spiritual advancement, and just bringing that light and joy to others is doing more of the heavy lifting than you think. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this. I look forward to seeing you at the next reading. Bye. Hello, welcome pile 3. This is your reading, and we're looking at who is your dragon guide? Why are they here? What are they helping you with? What's the news? What's the latest? So we'll see what their qualities, characteristics are like, and then we'll go into process how they helped you this past year or this past cycle and kind of help digest and process that information, and then how that is helping you in your future. So today you were drawn to this black and purple dragon. So this card just jumped out and I was happy to see it because I have a little dragon. It's a 3D printed dragon. Isn't he cute? But I love that it's a little baby dragon compared to this very mighty dragon. And the reason for that is this is the alpha dragon. This is the alpha Chad dragon. So it says, harnesses the divine masculine power of creation, destroy the old, visualize your dream, help to manifest a new world. And then the sacred geometry card. So dragons are known for working with sacred geometry. And you got romantic love. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole, and complete through the experience with and reflection of a conscious lover. Love me, say that you love me. That song came through when I was doing some channeling for you, and I feel like this might teeter into the love department is my first inklings with this, but we'll see. We'll see if that comes through in your cards. So, first thing, when I was channeling, before I get into what this dragon is, I feel like people want to be noticed by you. You have this mysterious quality in your nature that is secretive, mysterious. Not so much secretive, you just maybe don't share as much, and that creates an air of mystery around your energy. I saw black cats came through, so if you have a black cat, perhaps that's something your cat just wanted to come through the reading. Then I noticed or felt like fitness, working out, physical strength was very prominent here. With that masculine energy, I also felt the protector. Perhaps you're a protector of some kind, or this guide might be a protector for you. And then when I was reading this line about destroy the old, visualize your dream. I don't know why, but the Mulan song from Mulan, where they're like, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. It's her love interest singing that, and they're like in their boot camp. So the other thing I felt with that is so first of all, love interest, there you go. And then if you think about Mulan, now she was tapping into her masculine energy too, in order, because we have both, no matter what side of the gender coin you land on, or maybe you're non-binary, whatever. In spiritual energies, we have yin and yang energy. We have masculine and feminine. Feminine. That's a new one. The feminine, masculine and feminine energies. So yeah, that was something that was like interesting to me, is like that is going to be a big theme in this reading. And then in this new era is bringing through and awakening the divine masculine template. So how are you stepping into your masculine energy? And then some random one-off channeling parts that came through was Milky Way bars or Snickers. Maybe I'm just hungry. Then I thought of The Weavers, Cat's Cradle, Cat and Mouse Game, Discipline, letting go of ego games. And I saw a balloon popping, and the message with that is deflating egos. And then I heard thriving, purifying the masculine energies, restoring balance and any distortions. And then I heard ascended masters working with a new generation of evolved masculine energy. And some signs that came through were like signs of feathers, because I saw this little feather in the card. Spirals, a spiral galaxy, antimatter, expansion, black holes, a double helix, strands of DNA, the soul star chakra, and heart energy. So we'll see if any of those kind of come into this reading. I always think these are fun to kind of validate any intuitive hits or nudges. But we'll see. We'll see what comes through. Now, with this guide that is working with you, the Alpha Dragon. Now, this is a benevolent dragon who works for the highest good. They all do, but this one is like, ooh, you're working with the top tier, the top dogs there. This dragon, the Alpha Dragon, works alongside Archangel Metatron. And this is a dragon that's, top of the hierarchy in terms of creation of the universe. So this dragon breathes yang or yang energy of manifestation. And so they work with our thoughts when the collective is ready to bring something new into creation. So this is when they're disseminating information or knowledge. If you ever noticed patterns in generation, if you ever studied civilizations or more in any kind of history. Sometimes I always thought this was an interesting pattern was when all across different parts of the world the same information was coming through, and maybe it was for the first time, but um it's almost like there was like a timing, a release of this information. So I don't know if I thought that was an interesting tidbit. So these dragons are assisting with that dissemination. So these are enormous, powerful dragons. So they might feel very woozy. If you get headaches, get a little woozy, vertigo, their energy is massive. So sometimes they may appear to you or they're in the room with you when it's like your body has to recalibrate and readjust to their magnanimous energy. So these guys, they facilitate destruction of old paradigms and the construction of a new world. They're the architects of reality, and they work with the elemental dragons as well as on the planets to help kind of carve out new pathways, destroying, like if you think about controlled fires, wildfires, or tsunamis, or like what's the other thing that I'm thinking of? Like mudslides, earthquakes, tectonic plates. It's like these are bigger energies that are like shake up the planet, but they, at the same time, as much as they cause destruction, they also are the new groundwork for growth to emerge. Like how volcanoes over time after they erupt, it's like new life grows off of that. So this is kind of like their energy is underpinning all of that. So they are very big on designing new blueprints, deconstruction, reconstruction. Now, with this romantic love coming in, I feel that was interesting why that was popping in. But the thought I'm having with this is that when we have certain experiences, nothing gets us moving like love. It's like all of our songs, our motivations in the world. It seems like love is the fuel and the engine behind that. Romantic love, platonic love, familial love, whatever, how it shows up. But in this case, it's more focused on romantic. So I'm getting the idea that there was an experience that you underwent and it tapped into the abilities within yourself. Like, how do you show up for yourself? How do you show love to yourself? As well as how do you show up in your commitments? Do those commitments respect you in return? And so there's a lot of learning and grounding lessons in those experiences, as well as experiencing the blissful, beautiful sides of love. So this is where the divine does its biggest work, the biggest legwork. It's not the only way, but it is a big motivating factor to get us moving, move our butts. So it feels like a set of circumstances around love could have activated your gifts in a hidden way, or perhaps it forced you to reflect on deeper questions of where you're going, where are you headed, what do you want to create, and what needs to be destroyed. So this could also lead to new projects, new skills, new hobbies or purpose. So we'll see in the cards here what other dragons are kind of surrounding you and your dragon team, your dragon clan. Okay, don't too much. It is. Oh, the rainbow dragon. The first pile had a rainbow dragon, and then I saw this pop up later on. I'm like, oh, that would have gone perfectly. But you guys got it. A fresh wind is blowing into your life. Believe in your divine guidance and recognize all the gifts along your path. Ooh. Aradia. Your inner servitude is over. Your beliefs and dependence are melting away. I am awakening the magic that will free you. Know that freedom begins in thoughts. So there's more purple energy. So white dragons, purple. If you're drawn to these colors too, that's something to notice. Oh my god, I was about to grab out of this deck and I shuffled it before the last pile and I didn't see what the bottom of the card was. Bottom of the deck was, and I saw DNA activation. I'm taking that out because that was literally what I channeled in my first part. But let me do another little shuffle. Okay, okay. Ooh, you also got resilience. Was it pile 2 that got this card? Okay, we've got resilience. See how the dragons are working with your energy system. Oh, okay, 2 wanted to come out. We've got 9th chakra, which is harmony and idealism. Wait, what is the heart? I gotta look up that one. And then the subtle elements of the tree of life. Building blocks of reality. Are you kidding me? That is literally what we just talked about with this guy. He's like constructing the architect of reality. Oh, how cool. Ah, that is dope. Okay, I had to look it up and see what the 9th chakra was. And that is literally the soul star chakra. I wrote it down. Sorry, I sing a lot. If that bothers you, it can be bothersome. Let me see. Here's my little channeling notes. Me having to prove. I wrote it down. Double helix DNA strands. Wow, amazing. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me that. I have no idea what to do with that information, so let's get some more cards and then we'll figure out what's going on with your dragon guides. Ooh, oh gosh, seriously, all this love reading, my goodness. Okay. Child eternal. Wow. Okay. Determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. Shadow attributes. Inability to grow up, be responsible. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. And then I saw on the back of the deck was the knight, loyalty, romance, and chivalry. A love of honor. Interesting. Oh, I split the deck and it was saying athlete because I was saying how this felt like a physical strength, but it could also be spiritual strength because this talks about transcending physical limits, developing personal willpower, and strength of spirit. So just something to consider. All right. Where shall we start? Let's see, with these 2 additional dragon guides here, this dragon, let me grab the book. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit off the book. Don't judge me. It says Ephriel, the angel of inspiration, youth, that's a big one, and life. Delivers gifts of hope, belief, strength, and vitality, awakens within us a childlike curiosity and a joy in exploring, opens us up to all that is new. Ariel refreshes our spirit, helps us to fulfill new thoughts and ideas. So something may have, this one stimulates your eyes, like your vision, the way that you look at life, the way that you see things. It looks like they try to really cheer you up or bring a lot of joy into your life. Either this is something you do have very childlike parts of you that just likes to tap into joy, tap into more fun sides of life, or maybe this is something that's lacking and that this dragon comes in and tries to tries to bring you this kind of energy, or bring you people that will remind you of this uplifting energy, because what it does, you have a very strong ability of to create things and create structures. I feel like you would be a great boss. Like, you would be a great implementer of ideas and strategies. But sometimes, if what can happen with those energies is getting a little too stuffy, too serious. So having this levity, this lightness, a having the love behind it opens us up to new possibilities and new ideas, and connecting with others and get accepting their ideas. And then sometimes the creations that we had in our mind ended up being like tenfold even better, because we opened ourselves up to a more loving, fun, playful energy. So, what a beautiful little dragon you have there. Okay, so the message with this dragon says not to allow yourself to be paralyzed by duality, and to recognize that light cannot exist without your darkness, and you cannot feel tension without relaxation. And you're here on earth in order to develop opportunities and skills that are inherent within you. They said, "We will be your guide on your path to knowledge. Meditate and look within." And then over here, with our girl over here, Arad, sorry, might be butchering this person's name. Okay, look at those stairs, look how regal. Let's see. Oh, this is connected to witches. So maybe you resonate with witches, magic, doing witchcraft. Um, she is the daughter of Hecate, the goddess of magic. After receiving instruction in the magic arts, she became queen of the witches. She promised humanity freedom from slavery and humiliation. Her name still possesses incredible power. Her message: I see your fears, and I'm with you now in order to free you from them. Work to healing any unresolved situations in your life, and any relationships affecting your well being. I will help and guide you to the path of freedom. Look closely at your dependencies in order to loosen them, and then to learn from this experience. With the act of letting go, you will gain great wisdom. Okay, the fact that that card brought up dependencies, and then this card and the shadow aspect was talking about extreme dependencies. So I feel like on the more shadowy, heavier side of what your dragons do is helping you stepping more into your independence. And either, how do we want to say this? Some of you may be either hyper dependent, hyper independent, and won't accept help from others. But I feel like there's a majority that's, it's like your energy is leaking out in other ways to others, and maybe in your relationships there was codependency, or tendencies for codependencies, and your dragons were wanting you to step more into your independence and freeing yourself, because it was creating the fact that it seems like it's showing up as a sort of like an issue tells me that there was maybe some more unsavory parts of that tendency. Yeah, maybe you having to let go of certain fears with that too. Let's see though. We'll find out a little bit more. Harmony and idealism. So with this soul star chakra, the ninth chakra, this is what plugs you into that cosmic galactic energy. This is what's feeding you fresh insights, like very new, out of this world kind of energy, your interests, your creations. It's a very creative energy to work with that spirit. Mm, you might be going through a lot of activations this past year, DNA activations. If you're feeling like physical symptoms, your nervous system felt like it was kind of like being shaken up a bit. It's like this rearrangement and reconfiguration in your body. may have been activated in some way. I see your dragons sending light rays into your DNA, into your cells to kind of waken up dormant energy. If you're new to this concept, it does sound kind of woo woo. I don't blame you, but after a while, when you kind of like learn a lot in the energetic world, it's like, oh yeah, of course that's going on, and that eventually that energy seeps into the physical matter, and that electromagnetic field is being shapen by this spiritual energy and influencing. And so this starts to trickle down and manifest into our physical bodies. So there is a sort of like as above, so below process in this. So with the DNA, let's see, activation. Oh, which is funny. Okay. I'm reminded DNA is literally the blueprint for your life. Again, we're dealing with blueprints. Maybe you are an architect or deal with kind of some kind of blueprints. So, okay, I wanted to read a little bit from this book. It's a new deck. I have to read it. It's fun. They have a lot of things to say. But what I loved is they mention once again the soul star chakra, because this is your gateway into getting this more esoteric information. So, yeah, you're being encouraged to get into a meditative state and just as you're taking deep breaths, feel the earth's energy flowing into you, into your body, cleansing it. And you visualize your soul star, which is above your head, and it connects you to the universe and your star ancestors. So this will connect you to these very ancient, ancient beings. And then you're just going to let it illuminate your whole body, every cell. You're infusing this light. And then this is what's going to start to like activate that dormant DNA. So maybe there's latent abilities and qualities that are coming out for you, and you're meant in this life to express that. And it could be through a relationship, through a love that pushes you to sort of stretch yourself and step into this expansion. I feel like in some ways you've maybe been holding yourself back, and there's more treasure to uncover in this process. Resilience. Okay, yeah, I feel like this year, this past cycle that you've been in has really pushed your boundaries, pushing you to understand what those boundaries are and to rise above and step into your power. A lot of resilience involved, meaning, I mean, that comes out of really challenging times. So it could be related. I also want to like just touch on it. Maybe some of you have been dealing with health issues. So that could be this resilience pushing through the physical health and while your body's adjusting and changing. And then others, or it could all be all wrapped in one, but your romantic relationships having resilience and pushing you into the corners of your mind to understand how you need to push and evolve yourself. And these are the dragons that were helping you. So you have like this black and purple and white dragon coming through, lots of love, supporting energies, very child. Some of them are very childlike, others are very like disciplined. We're going to get down to business. There's an intensity behind their energy. And I think that comes through when you are certain information that grabs your attention. It's like kind of like they're sending that your way or grabbing your attention that way. Okay, but let's find out what lessons you went through this past year, this past cycle, what growth came out of that, or what was intended for that growth, and see how that's going to set you up for your future. Oh boy. All right, let's get into this. So, they're asking the question about your past year of 2024 or the cycle that you just completed in whatever time your period you're watching this, and kind of processing and all these energies that showed up. What lessons, what growth happened through that? And it was interesting because at the beginning of your reading, I kept saying nods to love, romance, whatever. I don't see any romance going on in here. So the I was trying to sit down and try to think about, what was the reason behind that? Why am I not seeing this in the spread as much? Maybe like a few cards that could kind of hint towards it, but it was not a main theme. But the what I was hearing or what I was feeling is that it's important that you got to see through those experiences what surfaced for you, and that was what your dragon guides really wanted to focus on, is what sort of things unearthed for you when you were going through these like heavier experiences. And so that was going to be the main focus for this spread. And so we got a few things going on. I'll kind of break it down briefly. Here is a tarot reading of what we see. We have the main spread up here, and then these are the clarifying energies, and then some oracle cards to help contextualize it and give me some more pointers. So we're starting off with the Two of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Devil, the Eight of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. Interesting how there's three major arcanas, meaning that this period of your life was a major theme for your soul to experience and to master a level of self mastery that was coming through this. So it feels like with the wheel. Oh, before we do that, I just wanted to say, I just had to point it out. There's a little black cat. And at the beginning, I channeled a black cat. And I'm like, oh, there it is. And then the achiever, the physical fitness, I'm like, oh, there it is. So I'm just seeing a few little nods to what we were channeling earlier. Anyways, the Wheel of Fortune, it feels like I was drawn to this and the Eight of Wands. It feels like there was some kind of rapid pace of change, and something came in that was unexpected, and it caused this critical turning point in your life. And this was a cycle to help push you to grow and recognize any resistance within yourself that was going on, any internal energies and conflicts. So, what energy were you putting out into the world, and how that flowed back to you was a major theme going on here. With the Six of Cups, clarifying that, this felt connected to your past, or it could be around children if you have children in your life. But I think too, because earlier we got the child card, it felt like this had to do with your inner child and healing of the inner child. And I think I saw, oh, over here under the Devil, I saw the Ten of Cups, and it's this little family. So I felt like family was involved in this too. Either a past memory of family conditioning, or maybe in a current setting, that's what triggered it in that context. So this being next to the Hanged Man, it felt like this experience required you to shift your perspective and to kind of detach a bit, because there seemed to be like there was a choice you needed to make and really go within to understand this decision and then make plans for your future. But it required a different energetic approach. And I think you had to take time out to connect with this inner child. Whoops, you fell. But also see how this card is the Hanged Man, and normally it's a card of surrender, pause, enlightenment. And I love that there's this little tiny little kitty cat. Was that a leopard or cheetah? I don't know. And just playing with the little hair, little feathers. And so, yeah, I think you were connecting to your inner child, and I think that was something you had to rediscover. how to be more playful and feel your emotions. I get the feeling because of this type of dragon that you work with, and they sometimes tend to mirror our energy. So this achiever card too, and I see accomplishment. I'm seeing like you seem like a very ambitious kind of person, or perhaps just very like overachiever, someone who's very organized or disciplined. Could be very serious on a more serious end, and it something about that feels like where the healing that needed to take place was there could have been a habit of numbing our emotions. And maybe that was something you had to come to terms with and realize within this year, or maybe you just made more movement this year, and that was always something that you've had to untangle yourself from, is recognizing how deep of a well of emotion that you had, and maybe that you're always kind of skimming the surface. And that could have been a family upbringing, a social conditioning that was something that taught you to be avoidant, like that avoidant behavior. I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to go achieve these goals, and I'm going to go do this and go through my to-do list, which is great. That is a great thing. However, it's the wisdom of the self to understand when we are unhealthy with our detachment. Because for this numb card to come up next to the water, it feels like kind of like we're almost trying to keep our head above float, head above the water. And sometimes it's like there's so much emotion, there's so much depth there, but we don't even want to begin to look at that and feel into that. So we kind of sit in this plane of numbness and not responding and just kind of coasting, or not taking time out for ourselves to look within and ask important questions. So it seems like whatever this change you were going through, um, it was like challenging that avoidant behavior. And maybe this year kind of opened the floodgates to help feel all those emotions. And then with the grounding and the endurance card, it feels like you were teaching yourself how to anchor into your core self, how to develop a strong core. Oh, literally, yeah. I'm looking to develop a strong core of yourself, your spirit, yourself. And that way you can stay grounded in chaotic situations. So nothing can really throw you off kilter because you've developed a strong sense of self. And by doing it the healthy way, the correct way, and not through these other distractions to kind of prove to your external reality that like, yeah, I have it all together. Like it's like, but I feel like an emotional wreck inside. Or maybe we just I've you know we don't really peer too deeply, and so we fool ourselves. I think that was the devil here, was there was a fooling, an illusion. It was creating these illusions that like, oh, I have it all together, I'm doing great, but there was this reality check of like, something's off, something's not. Where's my joy, my sense of like fulfillment coming from? And so you had to really rediscover your joy and magic. I'm seeing a shift in the way that you approach your goals and your overall approach to life as you connect your inner masculine to your inner child. So that way the two can coexist and collaborate. The ego here. So in the beginning, when I was channeling, I was picking up on like, deflating the ego. So sometimes our ego, it's not all about like an arrogance. It can be, but sometimes it's sneaky in other ways where it's like we overly obsess about the material world, about what we're doing, how others perceive us, and feeling like we're gonna get, lost behind. Is there any shame, self-worth issues, or it could be so many things that it kind of houses itself under. So I feel like this past cycle, you really had to learn to unhook yourself from unhealthy habits, attachments, addictions. It feels like there was a breakthrough, like there's an up leveling in yourself. This is the destruction, by the way. I feel like we were talking about the alpha dragon having a destructive energy and then bringing through reconstruction. So this is all the deconstruction part right here. You letting go of limiting beliefs, bringing positive change and a huge mental makeover. I forgot to put out these cards. So, in addition to the spread, you had the mental transformation card. I don't know where to put it. I'll just show you. Natural humility and devotion to service. So I'm seeing with this devil, the 10 of cups, the ace of swords, it's like there was this mental transformation, this changing the framework of your reality. There was a shift in your mindset and what you were creating and what this energy was adding up to, and a more devotion to your filling your own cups. Again, devotion to service, devotion to others, your community, and seeing how that sort of it it nourished you as it was nourishing them. So I think there was a big realization there, and how you can take steps to do that and kind of uh, work that into your plans, into your future plans. How to harmonize and bring yourself more into alignment, emotional contentment. So yeah, there's a lot of clarity going on through these breakthroughs. So there could have been a lot of downtime to kind of marinate on all of this. Then as you're kind of asking yourself these questions, it's like, and getting yourself out of these destructive thought patterns, any kind of self-sabotaging, I see a lot of exponential growth. Like you've shifted into this maturity that allowed you to connect more deeply to yourself, your emotions, and that's naturally rippling out into your connections. And now here's the reconstruction phase over up the tail end of that. I see you calling in a future where you're thriving, and that masculine energy, that alpha energy, is in service to others. There's a humility behind it. It feels balanced and not overrun with ego and demands. It's like this is what's refining your character. So even if these are characteristics that you are already kind of mastering, at least this past year was a refinement of that character. And I think with this energy of acceptance that we see over here and healthy detachment, that we're stepping into a more lighter attribute of detachment, where it's a more of the Buddhist philosophy of like not getting too emotionally reactive, but we just take a bird's eye view instead of the unhealthy detachment where we numb ourselves from pain and we don't feel anything, because our emotions are the source of creation, of how we navigate in this world, how we move through the world, how we create this world. We want to see the beauty in the world. You need to work with your emotions. You can't rule that out. Uh, so it's like you got to go through it. And I'm seeing this paying off. Like I feel like your accomplishments, you're being more charismatic with that Queen of Wands. People are drawn to you. You're magnetic, powerful, passionate, radiant, way more confident, because the way that you are working with this energy shifted. So, and the High Priestess energy. So this is all about connecting to your intuition and sacred knowledge. It's like you're bringing this balanced feminine and the subconscious. That's what the masculine was missing, was this connection to the subconscious realm and getting in touch with that. This is what we kind of classify as the feminine aspect, the feminine energy. So this is what brings it into union and harmonizes it. And this is where we really get to see the fruit of the labor that you're about to create. And that's what it seems like the universe really wanted you to step into, this power, so that way the things that you create, because you're a powerful manifester and generator in this world, like you can create so much, but it's imperative that it comes from the right place, that it's coming from the right source. So wow, big stuff, big things you were moving. That's a big deal for acknowledging all of this. And you had a choice in how you wanted to respond, and you looks like you rose to the challenge. So congrats. Let's move on to finding out what your dragon guides would like to tell you about this future that you're creating. and see what kind of blessings and gifts are coming in, what kind of energies will be coming up ahead. So yeah, we'll take a peek at that. But I was trying not to do all the shuffling on camera because I'm like, it takes so much time and I know I'm already running behind. But look at this. It said lightheartedness. It's time to let your inner child out to play. Soul purpose. Something exciting is on the horizon. Follow your passion. Freedom of soul expression. You may be holding back from expressing yourself out of fear of losing or upsetting someone around you. And reaching out. Time to reach out. Ask for the help that you need. I'm going to keep shuffling these cards while I kind of elaborate on that. So it's interesting with the reach out and freedom of soul expression. I feel like this would be something in your past behavior you wouldn't even think to conceive to do. Like it was just kind of like, you know what, I'll just deal with it myself. And that hyper independence sometimes coming through, or in a sense of a cloaked avoidant behavior. But it seems like you're learning how to, because you're learning how to work and change your emotional responses and behavior, you're letting people in more. And because of that, it's like helping you co-create the reality that you want. You have to collaborate with other people. It's a given in this, if we want to be in this community. And it just brings more joy into our lives, more contentment. Sorry, will not shuffle right next to the microphone. I don't know, that's too many cards. I'll shuffle off camera. So yeah, I think you approaching something that maybe internally that felt like, oh, I don't want to ask, what are they going to say? You having a lightheartedness about it and being playful about it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this. Like, this is what I need. I need help with something. And I don't know, just making it more fun. It's like opening, it's lightening the load for you to carry, and it's helping others to be let in. Okay. We have wisdom. So if God is a triggering word, we could just say universe, life has a plan for me. I live here now knowing beauty is to come. I don't force things to happen faster than the universe has decided for me. I've learned from my experiences, take small steps in faith, and succeed thanks to all my efforts. We have the 10th house, Saturn, Capricorn, public image, fame, honors, awards, ambition, achievements, career status, reputation, influence, dominant parent. Aries, oh my gosh, you're getting all the action-oriented cards. The Emperor card, Mars, willpower, passion, bravery, determination, confidence, ambition. So, oh my gosh, you're really... you are being a go-getter this next portion of this cycle that you're coming into. Fifth house, self-expression, drama. Oh, there's our romance, love affairs, creativity, hobbies, interests, pleasure, play, joy, attention. See, you're infusing this into the seriousness of the work that you're doing. And then we have the waxing crescent. So set your intentions, self-assurance, self-confidence, planning, strategizing. Oh, the tarot representative of this is the High Priestess. And this was corresponding with the sign in Leo, the sun. Okay, look at all that. You've got quite a bit. So life path 5. So you could either be life path number 5, adaptable, spontaneous, independent, can handle various roles and duties. You don't let love tie you down. Maybe that was a past energy, again, because we're learning how to open ourselves up more and to not close ourselves up, numb ourselves up. So that could have been like a core feature that you've had to overcome. we have, I don't really know where to put this. We have life balance, balancing different elements in life, work hard and play hard mentality, achieving it all. Again, with achieving, my goodness. You are like a master manifester. This is nuts. Okay. But it was they had to set, it's like they had to recalibrate your energy. They as in your guides. Lyran. Oh, you may resonate with the Lyra star system. Speaking of cat, my cat, I don't know if you heard, she was meowing, and Lyrans are known with cats. Okay, excels in physical activities. There you go. Binges in physical joys, freedom fighter, go from fling to fleeing, hardly settle. True. Okay, now we're back to love. So there is love bit in here. This is prepping you also to expand your energy so you can welcome in new love, romantic love. It feels like if your work, something with your work, maybe you were very tied into your work that it allowed, or you were just kind of throwing yourselves into your work and making excuses about like why you couldn't have love in your life. Or I think that was the questioning that could have happened too for you, is like, well, why can't I have this joy? Why can't I have a happy ending here? What's stopping me from that? What hidden beliefs? So, experiencing true love in your life, being in a loving long term union, a selfless and unconditional love. So, you had to be in the right frequency for this. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Okay, let's see. Hidden blessings. So, yes, this whole experience was a hidden blessing for you. The struggle that you had to go, the limitations you had to overcome. It says, I'm grateful for all life experiences. Get your little angel guide right there sneaking in. And lucky star, born with great luck. This is good luck, but I think it's great. Things come naturally, effortlessly. Yeah, you're tapping into the right frequency. So it's like this flow of good luck coming into your life. And then authentic living. Now here is the key to all of this, is being true to yourself. And being true to yourself is, what does your heart want? You had to reestablish contact with your inner child and your inner feminine side in order to instruct your masculine energy. Because it was like there was a hyper masculinity where it was like, I gotta do, go. I'm not gonna stop and question, be distracted. Whereas this is like, what does my heart want? What does my soul want? Listening to the whispers of the soul, connecting with and aligning with that authentic energy. And then boom, that's where you get all this luck coming in, love coming in, life balance. Everything becomes more clear. You become more clear in yourself. Definitely, if you have any like social media presence, I could see that, or something in your community where you are being recognized more and you're like a public figure, or just there's more notoriety. But the things that you achieve, the things that you create, it's like your alpha dragon guide over here was helping you along this process to step into. Oh my god. The back of the deck before I put it away is hard work. So, yeah, we know that you're a very ambitious, hard worker. It's beautiful. You're going to do great things in this life. Okay, let's see. Last bit. Oh, we have blessing beyond the soul path. Look at the happy rainbow. Stepping stones. So this may come into over here with you reaching out and having those hard conversations, approaching it with a lightheartedness, not in a, when I say lightheartedness, it doesn't mean that you're not serious about it. Especially if it's a hard conversation that you have to have, or something that you're very like overwhelmed by. Lightheartedness just means that you could approach this with tender love, with compassion, with like, this is what my needs and desires are, and I really want to, and I can maybe compromise or find ways to compromise or look at things differently. I'm willing to have this conversation now. And I feel like that's really going to move and shift things for you. And so it's reminding you to, oh my god, look at that dragon! That's a dragon. Anyways, I feel like It's like your dragon guides are helping you along the way, stepping stones. Things will materialize each step of the way. Even if you think like, oh, I don't know if I trust that yet. Just trusting yourself and moving from that grounded and anchored into yourself, just like you learned, is what's supporting you through this. And you'll be so happy and so surprised to see the blessings that will start to unfold in your life. There seems like there's an ample amount of that. So, yeah, this is an amazing energy. I'm happy for you. I hope you liked this reading. I hope it was fun to kind of meet your dragon guides. And I'd encourage you to do a dragon meditation if you want to go further and explore that world. But anyways, this is all that I have for you in this reading. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Take care. Hi, Group 4. Welcome to your reading. You chose the green dragon. He's so cute. Look at him. He blends in with the plants. And it went perfectly with this card, which is the green dragon. Helps you tune into the secrets of nature, receive answers and guidance from nature, align with your divine essence. And then the card that came along with it from the Sacred Geometry deck is the Universal Love. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. So right away, the first thing I felt, like, not to state the obvious, but it's just obvious, but these are the plant lovers, animal lovers, tree communicators, the forest bathers, grounding, walking barefoot. Like, these were the first few images that came to mind with your group, and I did a little bit of channeling at first. So this is like my little hippie, earthy vibe group. You may just be a strong caretaker for Earth, or somebody who's just very very aware of their footprint on that Earth, on this planet. So this is the group that I was sensing are the healers, empaths, sensitives. Mycelium mushroom network came through, the way organic telepathy, and I could see herbalists, psychedelics, gardening, some of you very much earth souls, I would say. So, and what I mean by that is that maybe you've spent many incarnations here on the earth versus other planets, other systems. I could see a connection to the Fae. I saw a little garden snake, so I don't know if any of you are really drawn to snakes or think they're actually kind of cute. I feel like this group might be the type that notice and really pick up on synchronicities. You'll be surprised. A lot of people will just, like, those signs will just go right past them. They'll blow right through any kind of signposts. But I feel like you're like the group that will be like, oh, did you just see that butterfly come by? And you extract meaning. You see meaningful coincidences and you take stock of that. You're very in tune with nature's patterns. And then I heard water your plants, so that's for somebody. It's probably for me. It's actually just a projection. And also drink your water if you haven't drinking any water today. And I heard blessing your water, programming your water. Sometimes what I like to do is like draw a little symbol or a sigil, and then I'll tape it to the bottom, and I have an intention behind it. And that way I'm like programming the water and I'm drinking it with that intention, and it's bathing into my cells. So just the power behind that intention, I think, will be helpful in whatever capacity you want to use it for, if it's for healing or any kind of manifestation that you wanted. I highly recommend that because water is a great carrier of information. I heard nature reset. So some of you may be desperately needing a nature reset, camping or glamping, just somewhere to get out in the woods, connect in nature, so that way your circadian rhythm is reset. Maybe some of you aren't sleeping very well, and so I'm hearing that that's going to be a big help. Is just to bring that realignment and recalibration in your body. And then, since this is my healers group, I also was picking up on the possibility that you've had to learn how to heal yourself first before you could go out and heal others. So that might resonate for some of you. Circulation. I saw circulation. Green with money, so money, finances, abundance. And then enterprise came through. I feel like this is the free spirited group, carefree. Huge giving hearts, big, big, big hearts. And I feel like some of you have that ability where people feel very comfortable being authentic around you, taking off their masks and not fearing judgment because of your really beautiful heart and your willingness to be yourself. And you're just, I don't know, I feel like there's just an enchantment with this group. And something about you feels very magical. Now, for your dragon, a lot of those characteristics might also show up in the dragon guide for you. Now, the first thing, naturally, with this coming out with this card, made me think that, oh, if you ever feel drawn or pulled to go on a walk, like you have this urge or desire, like I need to go on a walk, and you're in nature. I feel like this dragon takes shapes in the forms of trees, clouds, and like the bark of the trees. It's asking you to pay attention to those shapes, and it's not really that it's in those things, but the way that it's having an impact and putting an impression on your consciousness when you're looking at these signs means that there's kind of this connection being established between you and your dragon guide. So that might be a fun way to just start building a bridge to this dragon guide. Sacred geometry is big for this dragon, and that might be something if you ever felt drawn to. I know the Dragon Kingdom, they definitely are very big on working with sacred geometry. So finding codes in nature is something this dragon will help you identify. It's helping you identify patterns. Oh, I saw the image of like the Fibonacci sequence, the shell, the Nautilus shell. So again, coming back to the sacred geometry, how to make sure I'm not saying Liberace. I always confuse the two, Liberace and Fibonacci. And then this dragon helps you become keenly observant of your surroundings. So it's helping you develop a deeper trust in the things that you're picking up on. And the more that you spend time in nature, the more it's healing you and the more it's helping you have this sight, have the eyes to see. So yeah, you can connect with your dragons when you're going on a walk, and that helps your mind kind of silence the thoughts and just be really present and ask your dragon guide to see where it's pulling your vision and where is it drawing its attention for you and what thoughts and downloads it can kind of come into your way. Again, with that Fibonacci, I've seen a spiral, so it's kind of like it feeds in this code through you. If you work with plant medicine, your dragon guide would be very helpful in that. For any herbalists out there. And I feel like through you, if you've had any interest in naturopathic medicine or nutraceuticals, or any kind of like natural healing, holistic healing, finding integrative ways, this caliber of dragon is helping you with looking for the right resources for that. And it's important that you're returning the knowledge back into our modern world that kind of lost contact with the natural world, because there's a lot of lost information that we're now seeing coming back into our research, into our nutritional science. But these guys, they'll help you identify. Again, you're really good at patterns, so in scrutinizing between what having the discernment between what's going to work and what's not. Okay, let's find out a little bit more about your dragon guides to see who else is out there for you. Oh, another green dragon. Look at that. Armid and Matilda. You are now in need of rest and recuperation. It is only when cradled in the silence of a powerful being that you can achieve self-awareness and follow your soul path with divine clarity. Okay, so look at she has like little elf ears, like fae. So yeah, some of you definitely have a connection with fairies. The elementals, working closely with the elementals. And yeah, definitely needing some time to rest in, mostly if you have the ability to find a place where you can be outdoors, out in nature. Oh. Then we have Mars. Understand that nothing is wholly good or evil, and that even the strongest poison can heal in the right dose. Interesting. So yes, this is coming back to you being a healer. So if any of you are going through something right now, physically challenging, emotionally, spiritually challenging, yeah, you have a lot of dragons helping you in your body process this, especially whatever this poison can represent. I had to get the book out for this because I wanted to see specifically what each of these messages were for these guys. I was already getting the intuitive hits about like healing through herbs, but I literally look at this. So basically with the message with this card here, it talks about that this is definitely an elven figure. So this woman, she's talking about finding holy places such as stone circles, forest chapels, and healing springs. You definitely do have that connection to the elementals, by the way. So this is like reaffirming your connection, and that's if you've ever felt drawn to like little gnomes and fairies and elves and fantasy kingdoms, like there's definitely a familiarity in that past that you have a connection with. And so this fairy is talking about acknowledging that your energy level is too low right now. So some of you are in the process of a recovery and maybe having to make a decision about how you want to choose to heal yourself. Which path do you want to go down? What's going to be the right thing for you? And so right now, maybe this is a big downtime for your body to just, it could be going through different phases. It's probably, I know right now too on the planet, the frequency of the planet is shifting, is raising. And so it's affecting our plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, animal kingdom, and of course the human body. So many people are starting to like see this shift in their energy system, in their cells, their body. So if you feel depleted, this is a time for you to learn open yourself up to other healing modalities and explore different options. obviously consult a doctor, whatever you do, what anything that feels. I mean, obviously have some common sense about that, but um, outside of that, just to keep your eyes open and your energy ready to learn about I think we're getting new information coming in, like that's kind of disseminating. And then again, this connection you have with this dragon, it is helping you to learn about these other arenas in your life that maybe the public doesn't quite know yet, or isn't, it hasn't reached a mass scale of understanding. So she says, nourish yourself with herbs and roots to help give you the high levels of energy that you need. So maybe it's a cleanup, it's maybe just choosing lighter vibrational foods. Tune into your body. I would suggest maybe meditating to see, and then obviously just trying out different food groups that might, what brings more sensitivity, what feel, any kind of colors that you see in your meditations that might can help you, give you some insights into like which direction, which food groups to look at. So let's see. Her message is, there are days when we feel strong and able to carry on. There are days when we need to rest and regeneration, when we recharge our batteries. Learn to be more self aware and take note of your inner healing voice. The inner voice is constant communication with you. However much you may wish to ignore it, it is unwise not to listen to what it has to say. Disclaimer, if any of you feel like there's something that you've really been putting off, this may be just the gentle guidance to say, like, to you are protected, you're okay, but just go check it out and reach out to who you need to reach out to for to set that appointment, to talk to other people about it, because other people also might be safeguarding information. Somebody went through the same thing, somebody is dealing with the same thing and was able to heal themselves, and that information wouldn't have uncovered unless you got into contact with these people. So you'll be surprised the help that will be there for you, the help that will grow. So that's not to scare anyone, that's just more, I think if you knew, you would know. But otherwise, this is how you're learning. This isn't in vain. This is something that is helping you in your expansion. Let's read this card for I'm curious about that one. Interesting, because it talks about the Roman god Mars, who originally was a god of greenery and vegetation under the name Mars Sylvanus, and then later became a god of war. Mars is a warrior and a fighter with both warlike and peaceful characteristics. Let's see. For his advice is, do not be too eager to categorize situations and issues in life as either good or bad. Instead, divide them into those that are either right or wrong for you on an entirely personal level. So this is talking about listening to that inner voice again, and we're hearing this connection to you do have a strong intuition. This is why you might be going through some kind of initiation right now that's helping you uncover a gift that you have and that you will be sharing with others. Because I just saw, my eyes just darted over to the universal love. It's like it's unlocking one of your super gifts. But this is a card about justice, bringing balance, about moderation. And you might be stepping into a different phase of your life and up leveling yourself, either spiritually or just there's a maturity in your consciousness. And when we start to go through these shifts, these planetary shifts, our awakenings, it starts to pull on our bodies. It starts to have an impact on our nervous systems. So if you're seeing shifts, bodies like hormonal shifts or what have you, everybody's in different boats, I feel like, with that one. And you might have to be in a period of relearning what your body is allowing, accepting, it's integrating. And so maybe that had something to do with this past cycle that these dragons were helping you with, to help prepare you and get you ready, and like I said, calibrating your body to be in the right frequency for what's coming next in your life. So you definitely, with this warrior card, it's definitely something of a, seems like it was a battle for sure. But let's see what else. I want to see some other cards to get a little more information about what these dragons are doing kind of behind the scenes to your energy system. I'm gonna move our friend over there. "12 auric fields. Fields that filter and protect." Okay, so it's like full system upgrade. It's like every layer of your field, your energetic system, that the cleansing and flow. Oh, behind that 12th chakra. Ethereal and unique to you. Okay, you're definitely having like some, for these lighter energies to come pouring in, it needs the right foundation to house itself in. So if any of you were getting really freaked out or concerned, if there were like fluctuations in your body, I think understanding and knowing that you have these supportive energies around you while you're navigating this process. I'm also saying that to people who are already in it. I don't want to bring it to somebody who's like perfectly fine and now they're not dealing with it. I hope that did not scare anybody. This is just maybe on a smaller scale. If there were tweaks in your emotional fields, physical field, these guys were the ones kind of like tinkering around there. Let's see. We have Fool. Fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. Shadow attributes. Using humor to wound rather than liberate. Denial of your emotional truth. Oh, I saw Angel on the back, so some more confirmation. You got some guides in your corner. Oh, that came out. Oh, interesting. Negative aliens. And then the Lemurians and Atlanteans. The Magician. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. I want to do one more. Okay, that was too many. Not that many. Introvert. So maybe some of you are introverted, or maybe you're kind of little, or just right now you may be more withdrawn because of this, of what you're going through. You are meant to master this, and this is what they're teaching you. They're teaching you about your self-mastery and how to channel in your own, kind of reclaiming your power. I don't know, there was at one point in this deck, when I was grabbing out a card, it got lost in there, but I saw past life, and I'm really drawn to Lemurian and Atlantean era, that epoch, because we're right now seeing history repeat itself, and this is beyond our like human history right now. It's like this is from this time period where a lot of us are here at this time, kind of repeating this past. So I think this is where you're getting your specific knowledge, and the dragons that you're working with are coming from this timetable with it when they worked with the Lemurians and the Atlanteans. Wow, this is powerful. I feel like you're really channeling and bringing through something through you, through this awareness. It's something new. It's a different energy. It's new. Also, your ability, your dragons feel like they keep it light for you because if it's something that's hard to process and to understand, it's like they're giving. If you feel like you're like, I don't know, I just keep making jokes or just keep making, making it funnier as much as I can be. Like using humor. Humor can be such a gift sometimes where it helps give levity to really hard situations. Let me know if any of this is resonating. This may be just for a specific, I may just be talking to a specific group here that has been dealing with these kind of more physical challenges. That right now that seems to be the more focus for this pile. If this isn't connecting or resonating, I would just suggest another group or just wait for the next reading. But yeah, I feel like you have a really good ability to be funny about it and bring lightheartedness. Just make sure, I think it was what I'm hearing, to pull from the right source where you're not masking an emotion that needs to be expressed, but if it's to support yourself in processing and coping and digesting that painful truths, those hard moments, you and your dragons are helping you with that lightness, using your sense of humor. I'm sorry, dragons can be a little sassy sometimes. I've had a few say some things to me that I was laughing about. Okay, let's look at negative aliens. That one I'm intrigued by. Interesting. Okay, because these essentially represent shadow entities. And just as there are spirits walking around, there's also the more nefarious ones, I should say. The ones that people report when they feel like they're seeing like shadow entities. They're seeing, they can feel this like, whether they feel like a heaviness, a depression, a sickness, it's kind of like they feed off of that energy. Another group actually just got one that was like etheric implants, sort of similar to this. So this must be something that's coming up for different groups to the collective. Like a clearing of it though, because we're talking about your dragon guides. It seems like this is what they're clearing out of your field to protect you. And uh, by the way, I saw when I was grabbing the back of the deck, it said angels. And again, you literally have that in the other deck. So you are good, first of all. So don't get concerned when the term negative aliens or shadow entities. It's interesting because this book talks about that when you are filled with that spiritual energy, when you're in alignment and you're pure love, you're vibrating from a piece of love and compassion for yourself, compassion for all beings, that is creating the strongest magnetic field around you. And I think that's what your dragons are also helping you with. So even if it's not physical, maybe if it's an emotional wellness, an emotional healing aspect, um, they're help keeping you keep your field robust to help you not get too bombarded by these kind of creatures, by these kind of energies, or if you've ever dealt with any kind of nightmares. Sometimes they'll show up like that in nightmares. Uh, their energy kind of hangs around for that. Think of it like Monsters Inc. I mean, in Monsters Inc. they're more happy, but it's kind of like where they source their power from screams. You're like, why can't you just source your power from comedy like they did at the end, from giggles, from laughs? Anyways, so this is sort of that same concept, but yeah, I think you are just a powerhouse of love. So something in this I feel like is going to play a role in what you're doing because your dragons are also helping you with this. So I thought it was interesting at the bottom here you can, tiny font, it says, take this universal love with you every day in your life. That is literally confirmation right there. So, yeah, I wouldn't fear anything out of this. I just think it was just something that you needed to understand that was going on behind the scenes. If you were like, why do I feel so off? Or why is this always like, why can't I shake this? It was like, you little gremlins, get out of here. But you are the magician too. And I think you're coming back. Lemurian, this time, I don't know if you've read Dolores Cannon's, I'm trying to think which, there's so much. There's so many books, volumes that she's written. Also, another hypnotist called Sarah Brexman. She also does hypnosis and was uncovering all of these lifetimes from her clients about the Atlantean epoch. And there's a lot of information there about these like magicians and these dark magicians. It's crazy. Like I started having dreams that was showing me that time period. I wouldn't have believed it until I had those experiences, but anyways, that might be a nudge for some of you if that was a pique a curiosity, or if you recall any lifetimes you've had in Lemuria. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in this book it says, how to tell if you are Lemurian or Atlantean starseed. You feel a connection to the stars, but you sense that your deepest roots lie in Gaia, Mother Earth. Dolphins and whales fascinate you. You enjoy healing and helping others. You are strongly attracted to crystals, sensitive, telepathic, also idealistic, and want to make life on Earth more beautiful. You are a good teacher and a leader. Yeah, this is making you, I think you're learning through this process as it's happening through you. It's opening you up to these other channels. You're channeling other divine energies. So this time of withdrawal, this time of, or we're talking about the past cycle, by the way, too, but that time that you needed to retract and contract helped you understand and see and sense these other energies that's going on beyond your physical eyes. So that's interesting. Okay, so let's go, since this we're seeing kind of what a glimpse of what these dragons are doing. It's like so crazy because it's like while we're just living our lives, there's probably like just some epic war going on in the spiritual world, like pew pew. I'm just thinking like lasers going off. But let's find out your past year of the dragon that we're wrapping up right now to see how it went. Or if you're watching this at a different time, we're just gonna see what cycle was closing out for you, all the lessons that you were meant to learn from that, and how that's going to be helping you set the stage for your next evolution, your next growth. Oop. Okay. Everyone got one, but for your group, you're getting Lemurian seed codes. Stop. So yes, you definitely had a lifetime in Lemuria. Embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. Crown chakra up. Oh, that's that angelic energy that was around you. Ooh, okay. Divine connection, holy experiences, miraculous energy. That's exciting. Yeah, that's like healer energy for sure. If you're working with the divine and you're working with higher order energies, higher intelligent beings, cosmic beings, you need to be able to sense that kind of light. And if you're living in this dense 3D world, it's very challenging to sense the subtleties. It's like sometimes our systems can't, it's like overload. It's like the Ark of the Covenant. You're just going to get blown to pieces, like in Indiana Jones. And then let's see, Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose, crossroads, no wrong path. So maybe some of you are at a crossroads from this past cycle, trying to make a choice on where you want to go. But there's many roads, many paths for you. Okay, let's keep going. my God, Source. Wow, you are so tapped in. Or at least the energy trying to come through you. That's like God Source, by the way, so if you're not used to the spiritual terms. It's like the ultimate cosmic field, the creation itself. Another spirituality card. You are just all full of spiritual acceptance. 7th chakra. And then we have essence. Sun, sun, moon. Okay. Inner self. So this is definitely like part of your core development. Look at a reward. Your reward is coming. Let's grab some of these. Oh, these wanted to come out. Saboteur. Maiden. We have the Sire of Swords. I think that's the Knight of Swords. I'll double check. 8 of Swords. Two of Swords. The Hermit. Wow, King of Cups. Oh, at the bottom of the deck we have Strength. Ooh, 10 of Wands. 9 of Cups. Death. Wow. Page of Pentacles. Sun. Wow, okay. You really had to find your strength through this. Okay, I'm going to put these over here. Oh, that one wanted to come out. Insectoid. Hive mind. Coming full circle. Serious. Natural humility. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, wow. Renewed hope. New consciousness. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Big upgrades. On the back of the deck, we saw the primal fear, which is interesting. If you look at them, they kind of look close like each other, the negative aliens. Like these little entities. Okay. They could be attracted to your light, by the way, too. So either this is, you know, in the spiritual realm, but energy world, but it could also talk about people. If you encounter people that are that show up in your life that are very attracted to your energy, and they just bring a lot of chaos with them. So that could be something, especially when you're a healer. There was a situation that made you feel stuck, made you feel trapped. It made you feel like there weren't any options available to you. Either that, or if you did see some options available to you, you didn't see the steps that you could take to get there, or perhaps feeling like there were enough resources for you to get there. I am drawn to this 8 of Swords, how this dragon is woven around with these vines, these creeping vines, just kind of taking control, and this dragon's not making any movement. But then we see this with the withdrawal energy, because we see the 2 of Swords notice how the dragon is cloaked. Its wings are covering it. Like it's going within because there's this acknowledgement that either there was a point in that cycle that you were externalizing your search and you were trying to find all these different avenues, but it ultimately brought you to this point where you're like, I have to go within and make my own decisions and make my own, what's my own answers. If I'm getting different opinions from everybody, um, and it's just confusing. So it seems like you were going within to reach this clarity. So with this hermit too, this is always about the spiritual seeker. So I think whatever was the impetus behind this that pushed you into this situation that made you want to have to do some deep self-reflection, in a sense it brought you closer to your divinity. The hermit goes to the mountains to reach enlightenment. They go within, they learn, they block out the external world to understand their deeper truth, to develop their connection to God, to the universe, to source. Um, there's I'm really drawn to this orb of light. So this is where you discovered your light in this process too. I noticed how you're surrounded by these. I think these were the kings, actually. So this is the King of Swords. Well, okay, hold on. Let me make sure. I gotta go look at the book. I never know with this deck. Yeah, that's the King of Swords. Also a warrior king, just like your little Mars guy. So yeah, you gotta go in and had to be strategic. I see you're very highly intelligent. And it's interesting because I think that your deep awareness, your intelligence is like making contact with these other higher intelligences, these other cosmic beings that are help guiding you as well. Even angelic beings was strongly coming through your connection to the angelic realm, which is no surprise. Source energy was very, very strong and prominent, God energy. And you needed this King of Cups as well. This is the card of nurturing, of emotional maturity, spiritual maturity as well. So it's like you're coming into this mastery between using your intellect, using the mind to help be present with yourself to understand the strategy that you needed to move forward, but also the compassion, the self-compassion, and the emotional maturity. This isn't an easy thing to navigate. It was like you had to learn how to bring this balance to yourself in this process of healing. I feel like you had to face some parts of yourself because I see the Saboteur card, the Maiden card. I'm really curious what that connection there would be. This feels like a cycle that's been perpetuating. It's been going around and around. And you had to come to a point where you were ready to graduate out of it. So if you're like, oh my God, I feel like I kept having to deal with this cycle over and over, it's repeating, it was coming back from your past to kind of basically close out. So I see with this Strength card, the 10 of Wands. So this was causing a lot of burdens. This was something that you couldn't carry into your next stage of your evolution. This is giving Joan of Arc vibes too, by the way. That's what I see in this card. And then this was a wish fulfillment. You had to go through kind of like your own spiritual death, your ego death with this to find the new opportunity to get to this. Oh wow, look at that. The sun. So wow, yeah, they really took you through a ride there this past year, this past cycle. Let's find out about the Saboteur. Let's see what cards come out. Okay. Okay, so Pioneer, so light attribute, passion for doing, creating what has not been done before. Shadow attribute, compulsive need to keep moving on. We have Advocate, inspires you to put compassion into action. Yeah, gosh, you guys were like the our earthy guy, our earthy crew, I could see the advocate for like what's the term? I don't know. Somebody who's into protecting the environment, like an environmentalist. Let's see, inspires you to put compassion into action. Shadow attribute, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Interesting. I would have thought this is very positive. Maybe not for everybody. I just saw in the back of the deck it did say father. If that's like something there in that energy with the saboteur. Let me flow. Stop. What an interesting contradiction of energies. Okay. And that last. Oh, do I want to take all three? By the way, this is a love deck, but I liked the way that sometimes it would touch about different wounds that we have. Self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is required to move forward in your healing journey. It is part of your path to make mistakes, to learn lessons from experiences. It's safe to forgive yourself first before working towards forgiving others. So maybe that's the saboteur energy. Something within you, and I think that King of Swords that was coming through, it took deep awareness and deep understanding of how the saboteur energy was still in your operating system. It was still programmed in you in some capacity. It may not even have been yours. It could have been, I saw father, so maybe if there's a paternal side or some masculine energies that you grew up around or that were kind of around you currently, could have seeped into you and kind of messed a little bit. I was going to use this card, the Hive Mind, for something else, but I'm noticing with that, sometimes it's like the collective energies of others will mess with ours. And we're like, well, what's mine? What's theirs? So that may be a nod for somebody who doesn't quite resonate with the saboteur, but just trying to find an understanding why it's still there. But for others, if you were like, yep, that's a very prominent energy I've been trying to battle and I keep getting cycle after cycle, that could be the case. Sacred union. There is a sacred soul bond at the basis of this relationship. There are elements of peace, joy, grace underneath all the outer workings of illusions in the 3D world. This connection is based in unity, not of separation. Enjoy the support of this special connection in your life and know that at the heart of this is all love. Where was I getting that? Oh, this card was about learning the lessons about working with a collective, that we're not separate from each other, that we're all interconnected. When we shift our perspective, our consciousness towards that, rapid healing can happen. Because sometimes when we're separating ourselves from others, from situations, and creating these polarizing feelings of, how do I want to say this? Basically, if we're criticizing or being harsh with others in our judgments, and I think it takes a very self-aware person to say like, ooh, do I have that voice in me? It slips out, you kind of hear yourself, or your friends can catch you like, oh, geez, that was judgy, or things that we were just hypercritical about. I feel like this is coming into understanding, a deeper understanding of that we're all at different stages of our evolution, even our own selves. And so this is where that self-forgiveness energy is saying like, hey, this was part of your growth. Don't like honor that past, honor those moments, those mistakes. And then also for others, our relationships, our connections that are helping us become more clear in who we are. And we're helping others in their journey, in their spiritual journeys as well. Whether this is a romantic connection or connections to really anybody in our lives, I feel like this was a reminder. This was a concept not just on a mental plane that you had to understand, but something that you emotionally had to go through. It was like something was stopping you. Like you couldn't move forward. There wasn't any movement until you kind of had to complete this cycle, complete this deeper understanding. Like when the light bulb goes off, this breakthrough energy. Because I think this is playing, you have a bigger role as an advocate. This is your purpose down the road. The things that you are going to create and help, the groups that you will help, when you're sourcing it from the correct kind of energy and the right inner alignment, it's going to have a way bigger impact on others than you'd imagine. So, yeah, I think there was a process of self observation, deep self observation, and releasing any patterns of the saboteur that was showing up. Yeah, so you were really diving into this higher awareness because for you to get these, you know, the coming full circle tells me you've graduated, that it happened, you did it. And this humility card too, next to this new consciousness, the crown chakra upgrade, it was like your guides, your dragon guides were helping you to see a higher evolved perspective. And if you felt an energetic shift, I wouldn't be surprised. You're like, I don't know, I just feel like I feel different. I feel like I want to make different choices. I feel like this freshness of energy. They've definitely been helping and working with you in that arena, in that department. But it was always your choice, is what they want to remind you. You had the free will to do that, and you flew with flying colors. Now it says, New World. A new connection will invite you into a new world where things may feel a bit forlorn. Know that this will expand your way of looking at life and offer a new world to explore. You may meet a partner who has very different experience than you. You may be embarking on having children. A new world is at your doorstep. Time to dip your toe in the water and explore. So some of you, this may be actually a connection, or it could just be like a business connection, friendship, or it doesn't even have to be. This card is all based on connections. So this could just be talking about you opening up doors, literally new pathways. You're creating new experiences, new timelines too. I'm hearing quantum leap. There's this, because you've energetically changed your energy system, your operating system, it's now programmed to go in a different direction. The different kinds of people that'll draw to you. It's like you've up-leveled yourself. You've had a full system upgrade and you're owning it. Yeah, renewed hope. So if there was any feeling of, especially it's not easy being in these stuck energies when we feel, sometimes you can feel kind of hopeless, but yeah, I see that you really stepped into this self mastery there. So wow, those were big energies you were hauling over this past cycle. So let's see. Oh, I did want to talk about kind of what you're gaining out of these, because I thought this was really unique and special. You're really unique and special because if you feel like you're a very highly sensitive person and this kind of was a curse, this is where you're going to start to see you had to really hone in and anchor into who you are in your core, build that foundation, and now you can take off. This is when you're going to see some really awesome powers kick off from you, from that sensitivity that you have. Now that you've developed more trust in yourself. So I feel like you're going to see more of your gifts awakening, especially from this Lemurian timeline. And then I felt with this, so with the Akashic Stargate, you had to learn how to trust yourself and to make a choice and not wait for others to make a choice for you. You had to make the decision and stay confident in your truth and trust and take those leap of faith. And because you took that leap of faith, it's like you're creating with this kind of energy. This is such a potency. Your aura, your shift, like people can feel that. You might really literally light up a room. People might be turning, might be looking at you and like, who is that? There might be a different level of respect, a different level. I don't know. I feel like people will notice this change. They'll probably be like, well, something's different about you. And it's really just this transformation process that you underwent. to get here, to arrive there. So this is amazing. Wow. Good work. Good for you to listening to the signs, taking the time out to listen to yourself, grow into yourself. Let's find out where this is going, where this is going to take you. I want to find out from your dragon guides what they see next coming for this next cycle of your life. Wow, look, cleansing storms. Yeah, huge purification process happening within your system. And look at the lightning. It's like all these electrical impulses, like I was thinking of the Schumann resonance, how the planet, like I mentioned earlier, was its frequency was raising and it was like shifting and changing our electrical systems. So yeah, I feel like this was definitely coming through in your body. Oh, and the endurance. Yeah, you had to really develop your core yourself, like in the eye of the storm. And that's not an easy thing to do, but you learned so much through that. Ooh, beginnings, exciting. This is like a new portal opening for you, like a new timeline. Synergy. Blending together all of your talents helps you to create an energy signature that holds within it your authentic creative expression. Freedom of soul expression. Well, literally says expression both times. You may be holding back from expressing yourself out of fear of losing or upsetting someone around you. So maybe that was something you've confronted. There's a new quality to your energy, to your consciousness. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're gonna feel more freedom from this. It's like kind of undergoing these intense changes. Opened you up somehow, like cracked you open. Oh, okay. Oh, learning to love myself. Yeah, because you have a huge heart that you show to other people. So I choose to see the beauty in me. My wealth lies in my nature and potential. I transform my weaknesses into strengths. I realize that I am a being of light and I allow myself to shine. That's beautiful. I'm going to do one more of these. So really hard to shuffle. Okay, well. Okay, meant for one, but like you got three. You got faith, harmony, elevation. I won't read all of them, but I'll read this one. I free myself from fear and trust the universe. I direct my thoughts to the beauty inside and around me. I use my spiritual strength and knowledge to create light and rise above all doubt. Yeah, that's that freedom that you're finally getting to. Oh my God, the word acceptance. You got acceptance in the other card too. So enter that state of surrender was a huge shift in your energy. All right, let's see what's coming for you. Chiron, stop. That's the wounded healer. And earlier we were talking about it when I was channeling. I was like, I feel like healers usually have to go through their own healing first before they go out and do their calling to help other people. Okay, so this talks about deep insecurities, emotional wound, greatest opportunity for healing. Okay, maybe I'll move that. Okay. Okay. Aries. This is the Emperor card. Okay, willpower, impulse, passion, bravery, determination. Do we want all these? Oh, no, that one did want to come out. Seventh house. This is about relationships, contracts, other people, romantic and business partnerships, equality, sharing. So that could have been a big part too. That could have been a big trigger, was the relationships you were having. Contracts. Oh, eighth house. Ooh, Scorpio. The death card. Yeah, because I saw the death card earlier. Transformation, mystery, inheritance, loan, shared assets, joint finances, sacrifices, the occult. Maybe this is where these energies were the most potent. Actually, let me sit with this because this is where we're looking at what is coming, what to expect. Let's grab this. Your soul is royalty. Stop. Extraordinary regal presence. Step into your own personal power, living your purpose as a leader. Okay, pile number 4. You guys are like known in the spiritual world. And maybe you've forgotten because you're, in this human body and we're living our physical lives, but like this, I mean, you got those angel cards, the crown chakra. You have such a divinity about you and around you. It's insane. No wonder you had to kind of pull and push on bigger energies this past cycle. It's like it needed to uncover the gem here that you are. That's like right, that you are rising into your power is what I'm saying, because you have the Emperor card. There's that ambitiousness, that determination that you have. Oh, you're gonna, okay. This is gonna align you with the right kind of people. You may have a connection with the occult, or just having a shared assets too. So, because I feel like this could be too directly into your finances. Maybe some of you might know more about what that might be headed for you. Let me see. Let's keep going and we'll kind of process. You have level 5 consciousness. You've given up destructive habits, maintained balance in your life, starting to manifest your spiritual being. So if you can hear my cat, she's upset. I have the door closed. Singleness. Wow. Interesting. It's interesting it's a single underneath the card about partnerships. Again, with this contradictory energy. Life path 1, trailblazer, pioneer. Oh my god, you got the pioneer card. Risk taker, a true romantic deep in your heart. And oh my god, spiritual elder. I'm getting that you are a spiritual elder. Yeah, destined to become a spiritual elder, non-judgmental, unconditional love, because you have such a refinement in your energy, in your aura, that you can help and guide people. Okay, for some of you, it quite literally could have been some kind of inheritance, or if it's through a divorce and you're getting your assets from that, because I see singleness, so it didn't feels like we're closing out one contract, one relationship, and kind of reaping the rewards from that. And then you did have a nod about, what was it, a new world, like new options opening up for you. So it was like putting you on a different pathway to meet more these new connections. So that's for a small number of you. Otherwise, I feel like this is really focused on your purpose and your life, about you're going to be around your connections with other people. and the way that you help those people and those. I feel like a business is getting created out of this, out of your healing, out of your advocacy. And maybe you're getting like approved a loan or investors putting into creating this because you have the Emperor card and then you have that Pioneer Trailblazer. So it's like people taking chances on you, creating this new beginning with your business or with your ideas. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what's in the Lemurian Star Child Oracle. Okay, you've got the essences. You got essence in one of your other cards. I love these repeating words from different cards. And resolution. Okay, wow. Pile 4. There's definitely going to be some kind of resolution to the problems and the troubles that you were dealing with, whatever this particular cycle that you were clearing out. I'm seeing a sort of a, well, we saw that earlier too, coming full circle. There is resolution coming through. And yeah, you can take solace in that because if that felt like something like, oh yeah, right, like that was the saboteur energy too. There, you've kind of are learning to clear that out. There's a collapsing of old timelines, and your dragon guides are helping you realize your potential. And that's what the soul royalty, that's what this the wounded healer. It's like we're buried lifetime after lifetime with all of this baggage, and it took some of these shifts to happen to really jolt you out and awake, to get you to make contact with your own inner divinity, like spirit forming into matter. I'm seeing that you're embodying more of your higher self too, in your attunement to these other energies. So yeah, there's a lot of other energies working around you as well, especially if you're going to have this spiritual elder card. It's very likely too you could have had a past life a um, as a spiritual helper for someone else who was living their lifetime on Earth or wherever. It's very likely you could have already have had that kind of existence before, and then you were bringing that through. I wouldn't be surprised, especially if you had that Lemurian card kept showing up. So telling us that you have this spiritual advancement, and maybe you just forgot through the veil of forgetfulness. Because you are a frequency holder. You bring through healing through these energies. These energies come through you because of how pure and loving your heart is. And you have such unique gifts. So yeah, I see what's coming for you is you're going to start to explore. Have fun with this. If you want to revisit things like working with crystals, doing meditations, feeling into it, you do have a connection to crystals, plants, and animals. So if you want to practice that, if you try to explore that, I would invite you to do that. You might be surprised the visions, the connections that you might pick up from these energies that you once weren't able to perceive because of the subtle energies. But now that you've shifted into this different state of consciousness, this more upgraded version of it, you're going to be able to perceive a lot more than when you once did. So also scanning energy fields. So you can do this with yourself and practice that and just do some more cleanup. Your dragons will be by your side, and your guides. But also, if you want to look into scanning energy fields of others, maybe some of you become medical intuitives or Reiki healers or some kind of energy healer, energy medicine, working with your hands, working with energy. I feel like you'd be that would come very natural to you now. Yeah, beautiful energies coming through, beautiful gifts that you are bringing into this space. So yeah, I hope that resonated for you guys and that connected for some of you and put some pieces together. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed meeting your dragon guide, And I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Take care.